It's your show, damn it.
Go ahead and open for me, G.
Welcome to the Lakers Nightcap with Joe Soro. How's it going, everyone?
Yes.
What's up, chat?
Is
I
that
had
how
a
it's-
little too much. Something like that, yes. Because I know you've tried to do me before. Now I'm trying to do you on that as far as
It's easier to do Gerald Glassford than probably.
All right, fair enough. Had a wee too much of the liqueur today, it looks like. I'm going to look up the list. I think you mentioned it on WhatsApp. Let's see. What did you drink? I think something with vodka.
Vodka Red Bull,
Okay.
vodka Bloody Mary mix,
Yes.
Temecula, tequila. Yeah. I did it all tonight, and I'm still reeling.
Yes, you are. But he is here. It is the Nightcap with Joe Soro, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this. We truly appreciate you joining us. Hopefully you are recovering from your own Super Bowl parties. What a game, not? Back to the old Super Bowl blowouts as the Philadelphia Eagles are the NFL World Champions. What did you think, Joe? We were both wrong, although I did say the wild card was Jalen Hurts, and that wild card paid off.
Yeah, the Eagles came in saying basically that the Chiefs had been kind of getting through this year, and they basically went through the Chiefs, which wasn't really a surprise, but you just never know with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs and kind of circumstance at this point. But the Eagles did come in and absolutely run game to the point where there was really no discussion of who was going to dominate tonight, and the Eagles earned it. Jalen Hurts is the MVP of Super Bowl 59, and well deserved.
Yeah, well deserved indeed. They had a master game plan in that first half, Joe. I don't think I've ever seen a Super Bowl where I've seen one game plan being executed so cleanly. They didn't even need to throw a blitz at Mahomes for what, the first three quarters, if I'm not mistaken?
No, didn't need one blitz. They basically collapsed the pocket. And what was beautiful about it is what happens in when you're playing against elite quarterbacks is you cannot leave the middle of that line open. And they didn't allow any room in the middle. So when they were creating pressure on him without blitzing, not only did they do that, but they also collapsed the pocket to the point where he couldn't get through in the middle, couldn't get through on the left side, couldn't get through on the right side. It just didn't matter. And then once Patrick Mahomes decided to throw the ball, even if he had some time, it was either met with an interception or an incompletion. So it was probably one of the more dominant performances I've seen from in terms of a defense to an elite quarterback, probably since I guess you could say the Seattle-Denver Super Bowl a few years back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you there. But yeah, just absolutely just a great performance by Hurts. Outside of that interception he threw, he looked like he was in total command. And as I said in our WhatsApp chat, as soon as that long pass, the 46-yard touchdown, that was it. That was game over.
I think
at that
more seeing Serena Williams, like Eric Quana said, I thought that was probably more entertaining than the game.
Yes, that's true. More people seem to be talking about that and who she was once connected with, as opposed to what went on in the game, which tells you all you need to know. Kansas City looked old, Joe. It reminded me a lot of, I think, the Lakers in that Detroit series, where maybe there was a few pieces there that just were not able to go ahead and be capable of what we needed them to get done. And in this particular game, I mean, their rushing attack was nil. I mean, their passing attack really scared nobody. Kelsey, they were pretty much, covering, double covering, because they didn't fear the wide receivers at all. It just seemed like from the get-go for those first three quarters, they had everything mapped out to a T on the Philadelphia side.
Yes, the Chiefs were able to escape throughout the year without a dominant receiver, a dominant running back. Tonight, they weren't able to get through it. The Chiefs had kind of maybe put all their eggs in the basket of the defense, but in this particular matchup, not having a one receiver or maybe a one running back ended up biting them in the rear end, and it wasn't enough to have Mahomes create his magic. It just was one of those things where it just didn't work. But they had these problems throughout the year. They were able to get through it, whether it was the refs calling timely calls throughout that time, or whether it was just the bounce of the ball going their way. Usually in the Super Bowl, usually in games like this, if you're not equipped to do what you need to do, usually you get exposed. And Patrick Mahomes got exposed again. I think the last time was what was it? Super Bowl. Brady Bucks. I'm trying to think what was it. So this was Super Bowl 59. Was it Super Bowl 56 or 57?
That was Brady Bucks, I believe.
Yeah, the Brady Bucks pretty much, and that one actually had a little bit more of a reason on why Mahomes couldn't get around as comfortable as he wanted to. Is they lost a lot of offensive linemen in the AFC Championship game, and he wasn't able to do anything. And of course, Brady was able to score at will on the Chiefs defense, which is what Hurts did as well. It's kind of a repeat of what happened in that Super Bowl, and Hurts was due. In a game like this, Hurts has won national titles. Hurts had been here 2 of the last 3 years. Played really well, actually. Would have won Super Bowl MVP had he won 2 years ago in Super Bowl 57. But this time he did get some help from his defense, and he didn't have to grind it out till the end, waiting till what a penalty in the end to seal it for the Chiefs. See, and that's the thing here, guys. Either you have the ball at the end of the game to win the game without leaving any time on the clock for Mahomes to do his magic, or you blow him out. This is pretty much the only way you're going to beat Kansas City and Mahomes. And the Eagles did that.
Once again, it is Joe Soro. This is his nightcap. I'm helping him out. I feel like we're at the end of the party. We're heading on home. Joe's had a wee too much to drink, and I'm helping him home as we come home from the frat party. And all Joe can say, dude, that was a kick-ass party indeed. But it is, of course, Joe Soro, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. The Super Bowl is now over. Yeah, let me know in the comments, everyone, what you thought was the best and the worst Super Bowl commercial that was out there. For me, I think the theme was Hollywood, because I don't think I saw maybe 2 commercials in a row that weren't without some noted Hollywood actor of some ilk. So it was just notable how many actors, because in the past, as you guys, older guys know, and older gals know, in the past, in America, Hollywood actors, for the most part, would not go ahead and do commercials. They thought it was beneath them, just like movie actors would not do TV because they thought at the time back in the 70s and whatnot, 80s even, because they thought it was beneath them in many ways. They would always do, if they do commercials, they do it overseas because they think really that no one in America would see them. So it's interesting to see now the exact opposite, because so much money, Joe, up to $8 million for a 30 or second or minute spot, $8 million for these ads. And on some occasions, these companies are willing to roll out the red carpet and willing to back up the Brinks truck for a lot of these stars. I mean, Harrison Ford, Affleck, Damon, just the list was seemingly endless as far as the number of stars. I know you said you didn't get to see most of the commercials because you were very busy drinking, but what does that say now about this complete reversal from when you and I were young, as far as what it once was to what it is now?
Well, Hollywood has deteriorated to the point where their material has deteriorated. And the only way for these actors and performers to make money is to now do American commercials and American jobs that usually would be allocated to be B-type actors, C-type actors. I'm not ashamed to say that a lot of these guys sold out. Whether it's fair to say that or whether it's inconsiderate doesn't matter to me. To me, the Hollywood system has lost its movie stars in a lot of ways. And I'm looking at this from a professional standpoint. I'm not looking at this from a personal integrity standpoint. I'm sure Harrison Ford and Ben Affleck are fine people in real life, but in terms of who they were for the last, 30 years, up to 50 years, how do you degrade yourself in doing commercials for what? Why would Harrison Ford do a commercial? The guy's made probably over $300-400 million in his career.
But he's done Japanese commercials before.
That's
I know
fine.
that.
You want to do Japanese commercials for one day? That's fine. But this is America, baby. When you start doing cheesy American commercials, and even the Japanese or the Chinese or the Taiwanese commercials, what is that? What does that say about you? You wouldn't see Daniel Day-Lewis doing that kind of stuff. Have you seen Gary Oldman do that kind of stuff, G?
Not to my knowledge.
No. So for me, I still love the Bobby D. I still love the Harrison Fords. I still love the Ben Afflecks. The Town is a great movie, guys. You should watch it. It's probably one of the best.
They were all over.
Yeah.
Them and McConaughey were all over.
And again, guys, it's okay. It's okay to criticize those who you like. It's something that's part of life. To me,
he actually. By the way, I
ahead.
wanted to correct you on Gary Oldman. He has appeared in several commercials over the years, including 1-to-1, Nokia, BMW, and more.
I've never seen them, so I don't know if they exist in my book. But for me, a movie star needs to be a movie star. A commercial actor needs to be a commercial actor. A TV star needs to be a TV star. Now, I will give you a little bit of leeway. If you start out as a TV star like George Clooney on ER, then after become a movie star, that's a different story. But you can't go back. I'm sorry. I'm a traditionalist. I'm old-fashioned that way. I think you should stay a movie star once you become a movie star. And if you can't do that, then you're not really a movie star. And, did you see Leonardo DiCaprio doing any of that stuff? Is he still a movie star? Looks like maybe he's one of the few left. What about Brad Pitt? Didn't he do that cappuccino commercial? Right?
Pitt has done, him, Clooney, because I think they have a vested interest. I know Clooney owns the coffee makers, the espresso machines. I think maybe Pitt's in with them. I'm not sure, but I know that they did one together. I think they are investors in that a certain specific.
That's fabulous. It makes me feel tingly inside. I don't give a shit about their investments. Okay, are you a movie star? Is the question. Are you going to stay a movie star, or are you going to submit to the money? To the money you already have. Come on, guys, have some pride. Why are you doing bookings.com commercials? Is this what it gets to? Is this what it gets to? Booking.com commercials? How about crypto.com commercials? Is that what's next? It's beneath what you're supposed to be. You guys are 30-year, 40-year veterans of the silver screen. You don't belong making whatever you're making and getting your little SAG eligibility stuff on commercials, guys. That's for the peasants out there. If I'm being harsh, if I'm being judgmental, tough. Like I said, I'm a traditionalist. I like to make sure that the movie stars stay movie stars, and you let the commercials go to the people who can sell whatever the hell it is. And that's just kind of how I look at it.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is, of course, Joe Soro along with me, Gerald Glassford. It's his nightcap. I want to just talk a little bit about the Super Bowl. So, yes, the Kansas City Chiefs failed to get it done in their three-peat, and the Philadelphia Eagles win. So, definitely looking forward to seeing what's happened there. Thank you so much. 805 Fillmore said, rather be killed by a pack of wolves or an anaconda. I'll let you answer that one first.
Wow. I don't think an anaconda could kill me. I don't think an anaconda could kill me. You'd have to wait for the anaconda to swallow you. I just don't think my mentality would allow an anaconda to kill me. Pack of wolves, I don't know if you have a choice there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I actually don't know what I would pick. I guess Anaconda.
Yeah, I guess Anaconda. Yeah, those are the type of questions we get from you. 805.
Great
Appreciate
question.
that.
Great.
Yes.
Keep it coming, guys. I love those questions. I like thinking outside the box.
Kind of morbid though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Our
sure,
own
but it's
death.
fun. It's fun to answer the questions.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to know next time we head down to the South America, going to the Amazon. Yeah, right there with the anaconda. There you go. All right. Can't wait for that.
Hey, that was a great movie, by the way. Anaconda movie was great. I enjoyed it.
Yes, it was a terrible game, John. So I can't agree with you more on that. But it goes back to those Super Bowls. Almost every year were blowouts, and I'm just glad that we had quite a few years of competitive games until this year, which unfortunately was not. Yeah, this was probably one of the most boring Super Bowl experiences probably of some time. There was no controversy. Like again, when Serena Williams is the center of talk for people, and this just because she was just dancing at the halftime show, that really tells you all you need to know about how boring of an
I wasn't
experience
bored.
this was. I was
I wasn't bored.
immensely. I was. Yeah, boring game. The commercials, like I said, outside of the Mountain Dew one was Seal. I kind of just thought they were just kind of lackluster this year. But yes, absolutely. It's kind of like a disappointment for me today. But we'll just deal with it. Bloodhound said this is a great Super Bowl. I'm glad you thoroughly enjoyed it. Sounds like you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I'm not a fan of either team, though I am happy for Jalen Hurts and also Barkley, who, they are absolutely deserving because they worked really hard this season. So happy for them that they got a chance to go ahead and, along with the number one defense in the NFL, really showed out today against I think was just an aging KC team that needs to go ahead and retool. Didn't say need to look at things in a whole new perspective. I think they still could go ahead and retool and give it another year. Maybe they'll come back and go ahead and win again, but we'll see. But is Joe Soro along with me, Gerald Glassford? Thanks again for watching this. It is, of course, the Nightcap with Joe Soro. They're sending us their thoughts on the halftime show. But I wanted to ask your thoughts. Tomorrow, of course, is the big game for us as Lakers fans. It is Luka Doncic stepping onto the court for the first time. Most likely, he's listed as questionable, but most likely stepping onto the court for the first time against the Utah Jazz. A lot of people are very excited for this. This created more excitement and buzz than the Super Bowl itself, seemingly, in the past few days. Your thoughts on the eve of what will be a very historic occasion for Lakers and the NBA?
Well, I'm obviously very encouraged and very happy with Luka Doncic being a Laker, and there was more ammo that was thrown his way today by the owners of the Dallas Mavericks. And I'm not going to lie, if I'm a teammate or if I'm an executive or anyone associated with the Lakers, I'm putting that quote into Luka's locker every single day. Luka Doncic is the only visible player in the NBA that I've seen that is adamant about winning. If you don't believe me, all you got to do is put in Google, put into YouTube, which is pretty much the same company, Luka tearing his jersey apart, and you'll get a chance to see how much this guy cares about winning. And not only does he care about winning, but he is lethal in how he operates. Now, the only reason why he hasn't won a title since being in the league is he hasn't been equipped with the right team. Last year was somewhat adequate, but not all the way. And I'm fully confident that the Lakers will eventually adequate him with the necessary equipment. And you're going to see not only a perennial MVP, but one of the baddest motherfuckers in the game, who's already one of the baddest motherfuckers in the game. But when he starts holding up the Larry O'Brien trophy in finals MVPs, at least every year or every other year, you're going to find out exactly who he is. And that's what's coming, folks. Barring any injury, that's what's coming. And we're here to watch, analyze, and assess. And I'm looking forward to it every day, every year. Get ready for it.
I'm going to go look up some of the comments that Chad is asking me to go ahead and say about the Mavs owner. We did also learn today that Anthony Davis, the other main player in this trade that sent him and Max Christie and a first-round pick to Dallas for Luka Doncic, essentially, and some other filler parts on both sides, and also Utah. But Anthony Davis, a stellar player in his own right, unfortunately, re-aggravated his abductor strain, and although he said after the game that he'll be fine, that he was hinting that he'll be back for the next game, that is not going to be the case, as ESPN's Shams Charania has reported that he'll be out several weeks, at least a month, with re-aggravated abductor strain. So, yeah, absolutely devastating news for them on the fact that they were also, the fans there were very adamant in their opposing the trade. The fact that they staged a protest outside American Airlines Arena yesterday and the day before, actually, as well, because they were very upset over what went on as far as the trade is concerned. They've been staging protests there for quite some time since the trade happened. GM Nico Harrelson has had to go ahead and hire extra security because of all the death threats he's been getting. It's been a hard time for Dallas Mavericks fans. I understand that we as Lakers fans shouldn't really care, but still, to see this go awry, and I know the comments that were made by the Dallas owner, which I will go ahead and retrieve here in just a moment, don't make it any better. But your thoughts on Anthony Davis re-aggravating the abductor strain? He is no longer the player that was playing every game or virtually every game that he was very much doing up until the time he got traded. Your thoughts on what AD has now done and now is going to be out for quite some time?
With all due respect to Anthony Davis, I have a lot of respect for him, but I couldn't give two shits about the Dallas Mavericks or their injury issues. The only care I have is for the Lakers in the 2025 season. Luka Doncic will be wearing a Laker uniform tomorrow. And that's all I am concerned about. I am only concerned about the LA Lakers, and I'm concerned about how well they perform. I don't think about the Dallas Mavericks, Anthony Davis, Max Christie, or whoever's over there. I don't care. I don't care if Anthony Davis ever plays again. Respect. I hope he does well. I hope he continues to play. But I have no mind on any of that. All I care about right now is that the Lakers have a 25-year-old mega star that's going to start playing for our team in 24 hours or less. And I am going to observe and watch that. And I am very excited about it. Very, very excited about it. And I believe it's going to be a very, very, very pleasant experience for all of us. I don't know if they're going to win the championship this year, but you damn well better believe we're going to be watching and analyzing and assessing to see if they will. It's much different than it was a week ago. It's much different, folks. Rob Pelinka, Jeannie, props to them. They completely 180 the LA Lakers, and you're all going to see what the Lakers are really all about it from here until God knows when. And that's how it should be. The Lakers are the standard of excellence in the NBA. And that's facts. That's not some exaggeration. And if that's something you are in denial about, that's on you. But y'all are going to see some skills here in the next few months that you're gonna enjoy. I have a very good feeling on.
So if that's the case, my friend, what are you expecting starting tomorrow? There will be a period where, both him and LeBron need to come together on the court, learn each other, their patterns, their techniques to try and work out to best accentuate. But as we talk about all the time, these are two of the best playmakers on the planet. And in doing so, I think they will go ahead and find it somewhat easy to go ahead and figure out what way to work with each other. So by the end of the month, end of next month, or when it comes to playoff time, those two will finally have come to a happy medium and exactly know how to work with each other and best accentuate each other's skills.
I'm not interested in hearing about nonsense. I'm interested in hearing how Luka is going to continue to dominate the way he does and LeBron dominate the way he does. There's no reason why both can't dominate right out the gate. They're both distributors in this game. And when you have distributors that play together, that means chemistry, cohesion, and the ability to make those players better around you are always going to come right out the gate. And not only are they going to be able to do that, but they're also going to supplement each other. Luka's never had someone that could back him up in the 7 years he's been in the NBA. LeBron, I guess you could say Kyrie or Dwayne Wade or maybe even Rondo. Rajon Rondo has kind of helped him out in that area. But LeBron James has never played with a man like Luka Doncic. And if you're going to give Luka Doncic and LeBron James breathers, maybe a third of the game, you're going to be kissing your ass goodbye at that point because they're going to have enough energy at the end of the game to do what they need to do. And you're going to have problems no matter what your lineup is. Now, the difference between 8 days ago and today or tomorrow and beyond is that Luka Doncic is the first clutch gene that the Lakers have had since Kobe Bryant. So not only are you going to get LeBron James doing what he's doing, not only are you going to get Austin Reeves and that crew doing what they're doing, Rui Hachimura, all of them playing as well as they are. You're going to have Luka Doncic that's going to put the fear of God into every opponent that they play because you don't know if he's going to do a step back three to close your ass or if he's going to penetrate to the basket, get the pass out to somebody who's going to get an easy dunk. That's what you're going to have to worry about when you're an opponent to the Lakers now with Luka Doncic at the helm. And that's just the reality of this. And Laker fans, you're going to need to get used to Luka being the man here for the next decade. He's going to win multiple MVPs, and he's going to win multiple world championships. And we're going to be here watching it firsthand.
Once again, it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. Trying to also go ahead and pop this in for Pop Culture Cosmos as well, talking about the Super Bowl, but also as well the debut of Luka Doncic coming this Monday, most likely because he's listed as questionable for the game with the Lakers and the Utah Jazz at the Crypt. Looking forward to getting that taken care of and watching that. And obviously we'll have that for you at playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break for the game and chat. And then, of course, also as well, that's just the scoreboard chat, by the way, everyone. And then after that, of course, the best coverage that we give out there, the best Lakers post game is always right here at the Lakers Fast Break. So Natalia wanted me to look up, and for her, absolutely. I truly appreciate you joining us, Natalia. Wanted to go ahead and give you the thoughts earlier today, Joe, before it was finalized and put out there about Anthony Davis sustaining, or actually he already had sustained it, but determining how long he would be out. The Mavericks owner, Patrick Dumont, who purchased the majority stake from Mark Cuban in 2024, he called out Luka Doncic one more time, and he called him out for his lack of conditioning and willingness to do whatever it takes to win after shockingly trading him, and he doesn't care how others take those comments. This is from the New York Post. So I wanted to go ahead from Eric Richter. Wanted to go ahead and make sure I get him credit on that. Quote, this is the quote from him. In my mind, the way teams win is by focus, by having the right character, by having the right culture, and having the right dedication to work as hard as possible to create a championship-winning outcome, Dumont told the paper. And if you're not doing that, you're going to lose. Now, he was having a conversation with the Dallas Morning News when he made these quotes. So if you look at the greats in the league, continuing now, the people you and I grew up with, Jordan, Bird, Kobe, Shaq, they worked really hard every day with a singular focus to win, Dumont said. And if you don't have that, it doesn't work. And if you don't have that, you shouldn't be part of the Dallas Mavericks. That's who we want. Now hold on, just one little bit. That's who we want. I'm unwavering on this. The entire organization knows this. This is how I operate outside of basketball. This is the only way to be competitive and win. If you don't want to take a vacation, don't do with us. Or if you want to take a vacation, don't do it with us. Look, I think there's a lot of things that come up into play when you decide to roster the team, and culture is very important, and that's what we're focused on. So there you have it, my friend. Again, this is going to radio stations worldwide. I've already had to bleep you a few times already. Without doing too much damage, can you go ahead and describe your thoughts? This is going to be bulletin board material for some time for Luka. Luka is going to take this, wrap this up. Hopefully someone will put this out in the Lakers locker room, put it in bold, put it on the posters, slap it on the side of a billboard if they have to outside the crypto arena in order for him to see it and get motivation from it. He should feel like he's feeling right now, a lot of anger, resentment towards how he was treated, and it should be for the next 10 years motivation for him to do more for the Lakers.
Dallas continues to poke the snake. What do you think Luka's going to do on the 25th and beyond? Why do they keep doing this? Why don't they shut the hell up? I don't want them to shut the hell up, but I'm looking at it from an observing standpoint. So not only do they keep talking smack, they just keep anteing up on this. What's going to happen when Luka shows up on the 25th and drops 30, 10, and 10 on their ass in a win? What are they going to say then? All allegedly 270 of him, which, by the way, is bullshit. So it's one of those things where I guess we can talk some smack because we don't have really any literal skin in the game. We're just fans. We can just say what we want and not have the consequences of it. But let's be real here. Seriously, what do you think Doncic is going to do on the 25th when he sees Dallas? What do you think he's going to do the rest of the year? What do you think he's going to do the rest of his career in the LA uniform? Why do they keep testing this guy? You all don't know that Luka's one of the few guys, if not the only guy, that has the Mamba mentality in the NBA. Who else has the Mamba mentality in the NBA? Tell me, Gerald. Who? Who really cares about winning like Luka?
Not too many.
I don't know any other than Luka. I've never seen even Kobe Bryant tear his shirt apart because he wants to win so bad. And the Lakers are the perfect team to enhance that Mamba mentality. Why? Because that's where the motherfucking Mamba mentality started from. So if I'm LeBron James, if I'm Jackson Hayes, if I'm Rob Pelinka, if I'm anybody in the Lakers organization, I'm sitting next to Luka and I'm just whispering in his ear, going, they think you ain't good enough. They think you're a second rate. They didn't want to pay you your money. They didn't think you were worth it. We think you're worth it. We're going to pay you the max. We're going to give you the extensions. We're going to let you run this mother for the next decade. The greatest basketball team that's ever been on this planet. You're going to run it. You're going to be an icon. And you're going to have a jersey up in the rafters. And you're going to have a statue outside the crypt when it's all said and done. How's that not going to motivate him? He's already motivated. You really don't need to motivate him. But why not add a little bit of extra to it? I am very comfortable right now at 10:35 p.m. West Coast time in what is going to happen in the end here. I don't know if the Lakers are going to win a championship this year, but you damn well better believe when the Lakers get a chance to really sit down and put together what they need for Luka, they're going to be able to do it, and Luka's going to be a perennial title contender and MVP candidate. And all this weight and not caring, beer drinking, whatever the hell it is, it's not going to matter here. And Dallas is going to look like schlep rocks in the end. And I'm looking forward to it.
AOG 34 says, hold on. So the 40-year-old billionaire basketball player doesn't have the Mamba mentality?
40-year-old billionaire basketball player doesn't have the Mamba mentality. You tell me. Does this sound like they have the Mamba mentality? Why would they let their prized possession go for nothing?
But he was talking about LeBron.
LeBron? Well,
yes.
LeBron's going to play a part in this.
But no, he's talking is LeBron not having the Mamba mentality. You don't believe he has the Mamba mentality?
Probably not. He's so talented. He's been able to be successful without that mentality. I think you've seen guys in the league that have that. Shaq, would you say Shaq had the Mamba mentality? I mean, he had the, I guess, the motivation when it was showtime. But what's Mamba mentality to you? That could be subjective to a lot of you. Mamba mentality to me means tearing your heart out and showing it to you and eating it in front of you. Who really has that? If Shaq had that mentality, Lakers would have probably won 5-6 championships in a row. And that's really not a discussion. That's fact. In a lot of ways, that's facts.
Okay.
So,
but also LeBron. So
yeah.
LeBron.
No, I don't think LeBron has the tear your heart out kind of mentality. I think he does what he does, but it's still going to benefit him in this situation with Luka being with the team, because Luka does have that.
I don't think J-Law he's saying he's not great. One of the greatest players of all time. In fact, if you went into the lab and you created the perfect basketball player, I mean, the stats that come out no more closely resembled anyone than LeBron James. No one can deny the stats and things that he's done for the game of basketball. No one statistically is producing better at this age than no one in the history of the game is producing at this age better than LeBron. Whether you're a LeBron fan or whether you're a LeBron hater, because it's LeBron James in and of himself is such a divisive issue on this show in this game. I mean, for every person that loves him, there's another that just cannot stand him. For a person that wants him to be a Laker forever, there's another that wants him to go tomorrow. So it's just he can't win either which way, no matter what he does, no matter how he plays. But the facts are the facts. The stats back it up. No one at this age has ever had the kind of statistics that he has had at this age. You could argue about all you want about his defense. The turnovers, other issues with him as far as off the court, whatever you want to go ahead and get to. That's your opinion, and that is to be respected. But no one can doubt, whether you love him or hate him, that he has at this age playing at a level where he can still help you win a championship. If you've seen him at MSG, if you've seen him at the game against the Clippers, if you've seen him over the course of the road trip, you realize he is still very much capable of helping this team win a championship. And Luka, one of the premier playmakers, Joe, in the world, one of the best players in the world, and has also the stats to back that up, coming onto this team tomorrow as they face off against the Utah Jazz. Even without what we see at the center position, even without not having the best defensive alignment along the perimeter, even with Darren and others, just constantly chiding the fact that they're ball hogs and all that stuff. Yes, I understand it's going to be a lot of iso ball. I get it. I understand it. it is not going to be Golden State basketball where the ball is popping around 5,
Yay!
6,
A
7 times. I
subscriber!
understand it, but it is at the end of the day all about winning. And the Lakers with Luka and LeBron in a 7-game series. Thank you, Martin, by the way, for subscribing. In a 7-game series, Joe, again, and I will reiterate it again and again, that the Lakers do have an opportunity to win any series that faces in front of them in the playoffs because of those two individuals.
Well, you also have to come to grips that what have the Lakers been since the AD LeBron connection? Have they been clutch at the end of games? Have they been able to close a lot of those close games? What do you think, G? The question
For the most part, we talked about it. They have come
is
close to or have lost several leads over the past 3
exactly,
seasons.
exactly. So they have suffered in that department, and LeBron, unfortunately, is just that's probably one of the deficiencies in his game. He just can't seem to close those games a lot. Well, he just got the best one on his team that does that stuff. That's the Mamba mentality. Can you close? We're about closers here, folks. If you want to learn about closers, just watch the movie Glengarry Glen Ross.
Oh, yes.
You'll get a chance to see. Granted, it is a movie; it's not real, but you'll get a chance to see a little bit of the tenor of that movie. This business of sports is about closing, and closing. Only a few people can do that. Only a few, and the Lakers had struggled with that. AD being a big culprit in that, not hitting free throws when he needs to, not being able to get the ball down low with a few minutes left to close the game. He's done it. He's done it in spurts. Had a really, really good one back in 2020 during the Western Conference Finals. But after that, seemed to kind of lack in that department. Luka's going to solve that problem. Luka will put the fear of God in a lot of these teams now, especially with LeBron at his wing and a team that's looking pretty focused and chemistry filled. I'm very confident in the fact that the Lakers are going to play very well here. And I don't see any reason why, barring any injury, why they won't play well enough to where they'll be a serious threat.
I want to go ahead and ask you with a super chat 805 Fillmore. It's not a question of who you would rather die to. This time it's on the trade that was recently rescinded. Actually, it was yesterday, one of our highest videos yesterday ever. Thank you so much again for watching. Our thoughts on the Mark Williams trade being rescinded. Again, I don't think it's a lose-lose, or I think it's a win-win situation, okay? Either you get a 23-year-old young developing center that could, if he was healthy and had no chronic issues or something that came up on a red flag and the physicals, be that guy that could help go develop alongside LeBron and Luka for in the years to come. Unfortunately, that didn't materialize. So you bring back your first round pick, your pick swap. These are things that you may be able to use as assets in the summer for another center. And then also as well, you get to keep primarily one of possibly a young sharpshooter that could develop into one of the best shooters in the game in Dalton Connect. So I don't see how the Lakers lose in this situation, Joe, but your thoughts on the Mark Williams trade being rescinded?
Well, it definitely takes away from the fact that they needed a 5. It would have likely improved their structure and their balance. But it could have very easily been a bad deal, depending on in terms of putting together what package they threw at that. If he didn't come out positive, it would be a detriment to Rob Pelinka's general manager decision on that. You give up a first round unprotected pick for a guy who's not playing regularly, right? And then you give up possibly a player in Dalton Connect who could be someone very, very good. And then you also had the 2030 swap. Something must have happened, folks. Something must have happened in those discussions, those physicals, whatever it was, and they backtrack. And I'm gonna side with the fact that Rob took the safe route. Why? Because those same assets are going to be more valuable in the offseason this year. If it means sacrificing the possibility of not winning a championship this year, yet enhancing your team to win a championship in 2026 and beyond, I'm not going to argue against it. Those assets will work much better this summer because you'll have a choice, you'll have time, and you'll be able to assess this particular team as well. You're going to get a chance to see what this team is in the next 3 months. And you'll be able to dissect, well, we need this and we need that. And it's much easier to negotiate and to allocate whatever resources you need once you really, really know what you need. The only negative is you're going to have another year in with LeBron James. If LeBron James decides that he wants to play longer than after 2026, then that becomes somewhat of a discussion on how that's going to play out. Is LeBron going to take the continued max contract? Is it worth it? Do we expect LeBron to continue to drop 42 and 17 well into his 40s? At this point, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. If LeBron is going to drop 42 and 17 in his advanced age, then maybe he's just not going to be a bad player. And it's going to be much easier for him to do what he needs to do because now he doesn't have to ball control as much as he used to, more so than probably any time in his career. He had Dwayne Wade, he had Kyrie Irving, but both those players were more two guards than point guards. Doncic is a legitimate point guard. He is going to take this offense and guide it. And LeBron is going to have input in that, and he's going to guide the offense as well, but he won't have to. And vice versa. Luka, who's been, in terms of his usage rate, has been extremely high. Now, he doesn't have to do what he did the first 7 years with Dallas. He can actually let LeBron sometimes control the ball while he gets his rest, while he sets up a certain scenario on offense that could benefit him. It's going to be fun to see how this develops. It really is. And I feel like it's going to be a great development. And the Lakers are already playing very well without LeBron, without Luka. So how is this going to not work out when you implement Luka and LeBron on a daily basis? And having that motivation of the fact that everything around Luka right now is saying that he's a bum. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see what he does. I have a lot of confidence that Luka is going to destroy everything in his path once he gets on that court.
Well, again, with what we're seeing right now, Joe, in the chat, and thank you, chat. It's just always great working with you guys and communing with you guys here at the Lakers Fast Break. There is much talk about the defense. I know a lot of talk has swung to the fact that since we didn't have or don't have what many feel is a viable defensive stopper, Jackson Hayes, a lot of faith now has to be put onto Jackson Hayes. Guys like Trey Jamison, guys like Koloko, and even guys that hopefully may come back into the lineup, such as Christian Wood, if he's not waived for any reason as far as the buyout candidate is concerned. So if that's the case, the defense obviously has become an issue. Dorian Finney-Smith, Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent have to provide a lot of defense because of the concerns that a lot of people have because LeBron, partially because it's age. It's obviously something to do with it, but also as well, him and Luka are so offensively focused that they have been known to not share that same focus in recent years with their defense. It's something that's a common complaint here on the show from our audience about how that facet of the game is just not focused on by those superstars, but you know what? It is what it is. And the fact that they will probably have to pay a little bit more attention to it than they have in the past under various teams because they just don't have that many resources on this team to play at a high level defensively if they don't concentrate on it, Joe.
Well, we're in the NBA in 2025. Defense is important, but it's not as important as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers are going to have an offense that's going to be very difficult to stop. And a lot of the energy is going to be A lot of the energy is going to be geared towards stopping two just juggernauts in LeBron James and Luka Doncic. So where's the energy going to be on the other side of the floor? Let's use Denver as an example. So now you're going to have Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., or Jokic, or Jamal Murray, whoever. They're going to have to put more effort in trying to stop a player or players that are unstoppable. And one of them is a known player that has rocked your world on top of that. And that guy that's rocked your world is now going to have LeBron James running around helping him out. And you also have a supporting cast that's coming into its own and is young, has a lot of energy, and has been playing stout defense, stout team defense the last few weeks. So what are you going to tell me that's going to happen here? What are you going to tell me? Well, Jackson Hayes can't cover Jokic. Okay, tell me this, guys. Who can guard Jokic? Every time the Sixers are going to play the Nuggets, what happens to Joel Embiid? He goes MIA. Who's going to stop Jokic? Sabonis out of Sacramento? Porzingis out of Boston? Have any of those guys stopped Jokic? You're not going to stop Jokic. You don't stop MVP caliber players. You don't stop elite players. But what's going to happen here, again, I'm using Denver as an example. What's going to happen here is, what is Jamal Murray now going to do? He's not guarding Max Christie, who's averaging 8 points a game. He's not guarding Dennis Schroeder anymore. He's not guarding, as well as he's been playing recently, Austin Reeves anymore. He's going to have to guard Luka Doncic. Now what? You think he's going to have enough energy towards the end of the games to make all those clutch shots guarding him? What about Aaron Gordon? What about Michael Porter Jr.? I want to see that. I want to see what happens with this. And if you're going to get arrested up LeBron James in the fourth quarter, you're going to get a better performance on top of that. And the reason why he's going to get rest is because he's not going to have to handle the ball in close games like he normally does. Everything here points to the fact that the Lakers are perfectly equipped to do what they need to do to win. They don't have a center, so that might be an issue this year. But the second they get a center without allocating all their assets like they did in the Mark Williams trade, God help you at that point. Because they're going to come in next year, let's say, they're going to have a training camp under their belt. They're going to have months to prepare. They're going to have probably better front court help at that point. Now, what are you going to do? What's going to be the excuse then? And that's how I'm looking at this.
Richard, I want to apologize to you, but unfortunately you are incorrect on Christian Coloco because he said in the chat that what's the worry? Coloco was good on the Raptors, and Jackson Jennison do have skill way more than Dwight Powell. The reason why, if you've noticed over the past couple of seasons, one of the common things that we've said on this show is the lack of defensive awareness on Jackson Hayes has been a detriment to the Lakers. He does the screen and roll very well, and I know that's the side of the ball that you're seeing, but on the defensive end, he gets lost very easily on plays, and it's not the rim protector that a 7-foot guy with that kind of leaping or athletic ability should have. And that is a concern. Plus, we have also noted that his lack of rebounding for a guy his size has also been something of a concern as well. When it comes to Coloco, he averaged only 3 points a game. He did start 19 games in his first season with Toronto, but he only averaged 3 points a game overall that season. So I don't know how effectively you could say he played well when he only averaged 3 points a game, 3 rebounds a game, and a block shot a game in those 58 games in that first season. So I don't know how you could determine that as well. He was a second-round draft pick, so the fact that he did get to play in 58 games is a pretty good accomplishment in and of itself. But as what we saw when he had the blood clot issues and was out in the second year, Toronto did try to retain him this summer, but he felt going to Los Angeles or somewhere else was better off for his career. But yeah, he did not play. I mean, it's a rookie, so you could take it for what it's worth, but only averaged 3 points that season. So again, there is a high area of concern right now for the center position because of the lack of talent we have on there. Trey Jameson, you saw him play well, but he is more of a enforcer type, I would say, Joe. I'll see as far as his game is concerned, how that rounds up against playing against first and second team units, which you might get more of a taste of now going forward before we make a determination on him. But remember, he was on the back end of a roster that is now currently only won 12 games.
Jameson is not likely going to play a key factor in what the Lakers do this year. The talent isn't really there. What the Lakers are going to have to do is they're going to have to use someone like Jackson Hayes in spurts and then coordinate DFS and coordinate Vanderbilt and those type of players to allocate their skill sets to the bigs that would normally dominate most teams. The Lakers have to run and gun, and they will. They have the horses to do this, to get easy baskets, get easy three-point shots, and then on defense, just swarm with double teams, with zones, with just nuisance to the elite players that they're going to play against. Make them work. Lakers are going to have to make them work on offense. So much so that when they do get on offense in terms of the opposition, the Lakers can then swarm these guys and make them work even more, therefore not letting them become too comfortable. Lakers have to make every team uncomfortable. They do that. If the draw comes out the right way during the playoffs, they have home court, at least in the first round. I think you've got a good chance at something happening should things fall their way. I'm not saying they're going to win a championship. I'm not saying they're going to get to the finals, but I will say this. I feel a hell of a lot more comfortable today than I did 8 days ago.
Let me ask you this. I know that AOG says in 2022, Luka made a run without a quality traditional big. What if Luka, upon his trade and as a rival, you saw that on social media when he came out of the plane, flashed the LA sign, sat with Rob, posed for pictures, yada, yada. But I'm sure they had a chance to talk and really go heart to heart. And maybe at that point in time, Luka said, "Get me a big."
He did. He probably did. He probably did. I'm guessing on that. However, getting a big that works for the foreseeable future is more important than getting a big now. If this wasn't going to work, why take a chance? Why take a chance when in 4 months you can go get the big you want with the assets you have? So there's no negativity here, folks. I know you guys have been used to hearing us talk negatively against Rob Pelinka and Genie and the Lakers organization, but this was a smart move. You're not healthy enough, Mark Williams. You have these problems. Sorry, bro. We can't do this. And if Charlotte Hornets want to continue to do shoddy advertisement on their players, well, you know what? We're not going to do business. Well, Lakers are not going to do business with you, and neither are the other 28 teams. That was Bush League from what I've read. And you know that it was Bush League because these idiots keep making public service announcements about how they're kind of digging at the Lakers on not doing stuff. That's how you know. When you hit a target, you hit a nerve. And that's what they did with the Charlotte Hornets. Rob and the Lakers popped them on a deal that they tried to get through on an injured player. And they're still not taking blame for it. They're not going to take the blame for it because they'll get in trouble. And there's no proof. You know, if Adam Silver in the NBA said, "Hey, what the hell were you doing here?" Well, we didn't know. They could just deny it. Are there emails? Are there text messages? I'm going to say maybe they were smart enough not to do that, especially with what happened in Washington years ago with that numbnuts John Gruden, right? You can't prove anything. So that's fine. But common sense tells us you guys try to pull the wool over the Lakers, and Rob popped you on it. And Luka's probably going to understand that. He's probably a reasonable guy. And the beautiful thing is, with those assets coming back and Dalton Connect, now you get a chance to see what Dalton can do here the next 3 or 4 months. And then at the same time, you get your picks back. Then what you might be able to do this summer is get your big and not have to include someone like Dalton Connect and keep him on the team. And I use the comparison, guys. And since my boy EmpireJeff is here, he's going to like this comparison. So how do we not know the Lakers can't do what the Dodgers did this last year? The Dodgers went into the playoffs without a legitimate, you could even say a legitimate 2 pitcher, let alone a 1. But they came through. You know why they came through? Because their offense was so potent, you couldn't compete with them. They were dropping 8, they were dropping 10. Yeah, absolutely. The bullpen came out of nowhere and just wrecked shop. Well, how do we know that guys like Vanderbilt, who I can maybe equate to as a bullpen, the Vanderbilts, the DFSs, how do we know that those guys can't kind of hold their own every now and then to make this thing viable until maybe they squeak out a championship? I don't know. Well, maybe I do know because I've been watching them play defense for the last 2 weeks. They're kicking ass all over the place without AD, with AD, without LeBron, with LeBron. So now what? What is your discussion going to be at that point? Well, Joe, it's not the playoffs. Okay. Well, wait. We heard the same thing with the Dodgers. Man, they're going in with Yamamoto. They're going in with maybe Bueller. They're going in with Flaherty. How the hell is this going to happen? Oh, San Diego's going to probably bounce them. Well, what ended up happening was all those guys came through at the right time. Maybe the Laker role players come through on time because I know Luka and LeBron are going to be coming. And I know Luka's got the clutch gene, which is something that's been missing in LA for a very long time. And that
also here, go ahead.
And that, I'll put a button on this for you, G, before you get to Jeff here. That right there, folks, is what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm looking forward to.
And also here today is a good man indeed. Please go ahead and like and subscribe, like I hopefully plan you doing for us here at the Lakers Fast Break. You do on his channel as well. It is, of course, EmpireJeff of EmpireJeff TV. Jeff, great to have you aboard. Pleasant surprise indeed on the eve of Luka Doncic stepping onto the court for the first time with number 77, member of the Lakers. I know you're excited. I have seen your shorts. I've seen the vid. Just absolutely ecstatic, like the rest of Los Angeles, the rest of Southern California, the rest of the Lakers nation that's out there, for lack of a better term. Just glad that it's finally coming to a head and is finally going to be reality once he steps on that court tomorrow evening.
I'm still in shock we have him, to be honest with you. Until I see him on the court, I'm not entirely sure this is still real in my mind. Like, it's just crazy to me. I mean, I know it's real, it's official, it's done. It still is weird to me. But first of all, thank you for having me. Appreciate the invite. There is a lot that has gone through my mind and a lot of back and forth since that Luka trade a week ago. Just where we were days before then, even with the Lakers playing well. Even when the Lakers were playing well, it never felt like they had a chance to even go anywhere. Even with Bron and AD, I felt that era was over. Even while they were on the team, pretty much was done. Just they had a ceiling. They reached it, and it just didn't seem like the team was excited about anything. The organization was excited about anything. And then all of a sudden, the Dallas Mavericks had a death wish, and then everything just kind of went its way. And at the end of the day, I will say this: there were so many false narratives that just got blown out the window during this whole process. And first thing being that no one likes Rob Pelinka. Well, that relationship with Nico Harrison led to this trade. And Rob, who I've often felt was a pretty decent GM. I never liked him as a face of an organization, and he's made mistakes and he tried to help his stars out. But as a GM, I still had some confidence in him. I really did. I felt he was kind of sitting around waiting for his guy. I had no idea it was going to be Luka. But I just knew he wasn't going to go out there and just give away picks to give them away. He was going to take the heat and wait it out till someone of value became available. And that's kind of what happened. having said that, my whole look at this team has changed from a standpoint of I have a better feeling of Braun and Luka more than I do had of Braun and AD anymore. Just because that ship had sailed for me. And you have two creators out there, two guys who can get their own shot, two guys who can have the ball in crunch time, two guys who have the referees respect, two guys who are going to complain a lot. We got to get used to that. But there's so many things on this team. Rob getting DFS, huge. Obviously that was a big deal at the time, still is. And DFS is not going to be one of those guys that gets talked about a ton in the regular season. But come playoff time, that's a winning player there. And they have him now. Vando coming back health-wise, who I've always felt is a key guy. He just can't get on the floor. But when he's on the floor, he impacts his team crazy. Now, I know he can get played off the floor offensively, but he wasn't used correctly either. I think JJ is going to find ways to use him in the dunker spot. He can be an elite rebounder, a great offensive rebounder, a great putback guy. There's a lot of things you can get out of Vando if you use him right. So when you have all these things coming together, and the way that Austin Reeves was out there playing, like, my God, like what he did the other day. So the Lakers guys, they find themselves now in the top 10 offense and defense since the beginning of January. That's a champion stat. When you get a team in top 10 offense, top 10 defense. Heard you guys talk about clutch earlier. The Lakers are top 6 in that. So there are a lot of metrics that trend the Lakers' way, although none of those metrics kind of matter anymore because now you got Luka on the team. They're gonna go in different directions. But I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see it tomorrow. Like I said, still doesn't feel real. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I don't know if it's fully set in yet until you see him play. But
I got to see him step on that court to make sure it's real because until then, we've already rescinded one trade. You never know what can happen. So again, I got to see him get out on that court. Yeah. I know it's official, but I want to see him get out on that court, put on that number 77 and go out there and play some ball. I think that's best for all parties. I think it's motivated. And after the comments that was made earlier today by the Dallas Mavericks owner, it just shows that there is a disconnect between what Luka thought he was going to be and what he meant to that organization and what the reality of what that organization thought of him. And I think he's going to use that for motivation going forward. As he should. And they're on Dallas. That Dallas organization is up to something. And I don't know. They're up to something. That ownership group. I don't know if it's gonna end well for the city of Dallas, but they're definitely up to something over there. And the Luka bashing is just weird. The trade is done. Your fan base is irate. Like what they're doing is just kind of weird. And I know I went long on that one, but I want to talk about the rescinded trade, if that's cool, real quick.
Of course. Jeff, you do your thing, man.
I just want to come on your show and just talk away.
That's okay. We've got a current affair question waiting for you on deck, my friend. So go ahead.
Okay. I can answer that.
Take care. You share your thoughts first.
Yeah, you do what you do. Don't worry about taking long. I don't care if it's 15 minutes. Do your thing.
It's not going to be 15 minutes.
We've been here for 2 and 3 hours plus on.
Got you.
For several times this past week.
Okay, so the rescinded trade. I'm actually.
And plus, it helps Joe sober up, anyways.
I know he looks like a Top Gun fighter pilot over here. If he had the leather jacket with the fur, I would have lost my damn mind. But outside of that, the trade has a couple different things. Now, I was kind of poking around at this, and there's some very interesting things that went on here. And the Lakers have a case here to make this bigger than it is if they want to. Now, nothing can be done, so they might not. But what Charlotte did here, guys, there was stuff that showed up in that physical that that's never been listed on an injury report. The team sent over medicals prior to the trade, and nothing that the Lakers found in their physical was on those medical reports. So not only did they try to, I don't know how they thought that they were going to get that through. But I think a lot of Laker fans, one of the things that they did, not just by bringing in JJ Redick, but what the Lakers did this offseason was they went and got the former NBA's head of health Leroy Sims runs the Lakers medical staff, former head of the NBA's, like basically who looks over all medicals. The Lakers have this guy, right? So he failed the physical and found things that Charlotte was trying to sneak through. And if what I heard today is true, that there were things on that medical report that Williams didn't even know about. And that's the concerning part. So what Charlotte did is, if true, then this is craziness what they tried to do. And
let me ask you this though. But let me ask you this: initial reports said when at the Luka press conference, he made Rob made the comments that the center position market is dry. If you read the reports about that came up after this trade immediately, it was said by Shams Charania and ESPN reports that the Lakers were approached by Charlotte for this trade. It's happened a couple of days, took a couple of days to materialize, but they were approached first by Charlotte. Conveniently enough, when it was rescinded, if you take a look at that statement, it says that the other team approached them. So somebody is not telling the truth in all this situation. This seems very underhanded, very shady. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that part of it as well.
Yeah, I obviously am in no position to speak against Shams, but for what I heard, Luka went to the Lakers and specifically wanted Williams. He specifically mentioned him to the Lakers. And in doing so, the Lakers targeted him. Now, I don't know if that was they had him on their board and then Charlotte just called. I have no idea. But I read that Luka went to the Lakers and spoke on his name directly. So there's misinformation out there. I haven't heard anything from anyone I've talked to about that. I just read that. I don't know what publication it was, but I saw it a couple times. That they said that Luka specifically mentioned him. I guess he was a guy that Luka wanted the Mavs to get prior to them getting Gafford last year. And so from what I did hear that the Lakers kicked the tires on him earlier in the season, but there was no traction gain. So when Rob was saying the center market was a little dry, he could have got guys. There were guys he could have got, but there weren't going to be guys he was willing to give up picks for. Like he wasn't going to be able to get Kessler. They used a pick, obviously in the Luka trade. They didn't have the 2 picks that Danny Ainge wanted. They could have worked that trade, to get Kessler in the Luka trade, right? Like if they were really going to go in on Kessler, it didn't happen. I mean, I remember texting Joe when that trade happened. Keep an eye on the Utah side here. Maybe they get Kessler in this too, like because we knew they had no bigs. But I don't know who's telling the truth on there, Gerald. The people I had talked to was pretty much on the medical side. I didn't have much on how the deal came together. But as far as I heard both sides, and I agree with you. I think there's kind of some fake news on both sides here. I don't know who to believe when it comes to who reached out first.
Okay. I just thought it was kind of petty though when they made the official statement and just did not even refer to them as the Lakers, just the other team as well approached them, which again contradicts what was said by ESPN on the reports on who did it first. But then again, in situations like these, you're going to hear a lot of this stuff flying around either which way.
Yeah, and it could be another team that reached out to them. It could have been another team reached out. They decided to make a move, and then they reached out to the Lakers. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that it was the Lakers that reached out to them, So the fact that they use that specific wording opens that up to interpretation. So it all depends how you interpret it, right? From there. Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, they're shady SOBs, and they got what's coming to them because Joe said it on head. That was Bush League what they did. And the Lakers legitimately have the best medical guy in the business now. They're not getting any those trades would never go through on the Lakers now.
So with what Kurt Affair is asking regarding the buyout market, what would your plans be for the buyout market at this point in time? Right now, not to requote Rob directly, but you're going to have to in this case because it is a tad dry. We're hoping that some players get moved, or as far as ask for a buyout. But as Bobby Marks reminded people today, if somebody asks for their buyout, they lose their bird rights, which, as you know, in negotiations is something that sometimes is a factor. Your thoughts on the buyout market? I think that Kurt wanted you to go ahead and hear your thoughts on how you would navigate through this period of time.
Depends. So there's a couple of things that can happen here. First of all, they can't sign anyone above 12.9 million. So anyone above the mid-level range, they cannot get. I know there's different numbers out there, different quotes, but it's 12.9. Anything above that, they can't sign anyone over that. So whatever that player is, I will say this: the interesting part about this is now post trade deadline, there is a starting center position spot for the Los Angeles Lakers playing alongside Braun and Luka that wasn't available a few days ago. So that could potentially, I've got to look at a list of names in that salary range for guys that are below 12.9 million that have probably 1 year left on their deal that a team would be comfortable buying out on. Robert Williams isn't in that category. Obviously, Capella's not in that category. I mean, are you going to go down the Mo Bamba route again? I mean, that's not necessarily ideal. But I don't know. I mean, Daniel Tice. I mean, I don't think there's a name out there that just jumps off the paper, jumps off the sheet right now that's going to come in and be like, okay, I know the we want Dwight back crew is front and center again. The McGee and Dwight crews are back front and center again. But guys, I have to really look at the list now because like this just happened last night, and I've literally the first time I sat at my desk since it went down. I've got to look at some numbers for players here, but I don't know who that player is outside of those kind of names that I mentioned. And because this trade, the way it went down, they're not able to rework the trade in any way, shape, or form because it's past the trade deadline. So there's nothing. That's the worst part about it. But I can't think of a guy off the top of my head. So the Lakers might not. Maybe they go and get another wing guy that becomes available, or a point of attack, guard off the bench if that guy becomes available. But I don't have the answer right now for the big because I don't necessarily know who's going to be available. But if there's a guy that's making below 12.9 million with 1 year left on his deal, with half a year now, that would be a guy to keep an eye on because now his agent may pursue that other team to buy him out because a starting position for the Lakers is open.
Brian, with what they have left under the first tax apron, they can still waive a player at this point in time. Most likely would be a minimum guy like Cam Reddish or Christian Wood in order to create a spot because with the rescinded trade, 15. They were a spot open, but they became all filled up when Cam Reddish and, of course, Dalton Knecht came back to the Lakers. So you would have to waive one of those players like a Cam Reddish or a Christian Wood to facilitate a space if a buyout player becomes available. Because I believe under what they have right now, they can barely get away with it and stay under the second tax apron.
They could. It will most likely, Gerald, be Cam Reddish that gets waived because if they were just going to dump Christian Wood, they would have dumped him in that deal with Charlotte. So more than likely, they plan on keeping Christian Wood. So
by the way, if not, he'll become the starter sometime next week because it just always seems to matriculate from the back end of the bench. He's not playing. Then all of a sudden,
right.
He's there. He's the Dwight Powell of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Right. That's fair. That's fair.
Joe, anything you want to interject on this, my friend? You still up to it? Feeling good? Feeling okay?
I'm a little too big for the cockpit there, Jeff. I don't know.
The spruce goose.
Is there a height limit there when you're a fighter pilot, Gerald? Do you know?
I don't think so.
Do you think I'd be able to fit in that cockpit?
I think you could. It'd be a tight squeeze, but I think.
I could go into supersonic mode and drop about 60, 70 pounds and get there.
Yeah, there you go.
So it is. It's doable, but. As far as what Jeff had mentioned here with what's going on with the Charlotte fiasco, I'm actually curious to see how GMs in the NBA are going to work with those guys. These guys not only tried to pull a fast one on the Lakers, but they continued to gaslight in this stupid ass press release that they did today. And the best way to combat this is to the next time they see Charlotte, which will be in a few games. They're not too far. I'm fully expecting Luka and the Lakers to take a 20, 25 point drubbing on them. This is what needs to happen, folks. You need to make these guys pay. Dallas, Charlotte, all these chumps, all these teams that think they know or they're trying to be tough guys. You know, tough guys are an interesting concept in the world. A lot of tough guys out there. A lot of tough guys. They think they can talk, you know, because they got money. And they do that because people are slaves to that life, right? Like they'll be able to buy people out. They'll be able to buy people to say things the right way. See, that's the beauty of being real. Is if you're a guy that can't be bought, you're the most dangerous person on the planet. So in sports, if you've got an opponent that's dogging you, now you have it, you know, in this particular situation, you're going to have a chance to retaliate in a competitive manner. So I know for a fact, if I was involved in the Laker operation, I would be in Luka, I would be in LeBron's ears, I would be in Jackson Hayes' ear, DFS, everybody. I'm like, guys, it's time to drop a massive whooping on these guys. And I want you to do it, and I want you to talk about it, and I want you to let them know who you are, because it's going to be entertaining on top of that. The Lakers are in that position right now. Luka especially. You rarely see a team trade a player of Luka's magnitude in the area. You're probably wondering what the hell in the area is. They dealt him to a Western Conference opponent. That means you're going to play this guy 4 times a year, 2 at home, 2 on the road, and then you're also possibly going to meet this team for another 4 to 7 games in the playoffs. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Luka is going to make Dallas pay for a very, very long time. And I can't wait to see it. Not only are we going to be entertained by winning and winning championships and seeing MVP caliber performances, we're going to watch Luka tap that ass when Dallas comes into town and when they go to Dallas. And that, man, is what we want in sports. We want that in sports. Jeff, we're the only few guys that are upset that the San Diego Padres are kind of teetering down, right?
Yeah.
I don't want them teetering down. I don't want this fiasco going on in San Diego. I want that heat. We want that heat. Competitiveness in this thing is what it's about. And when you beat that opponent, how did it feel? How did it feel when you dropped 24 straight innings of scoreless baseball on your opponent? If you had called me and said, Joe, hey, would you rather sweep the Padres in this situation? The first answer I would have had before I even listened to the second part was like, abso-fucking-lutely. But would have heard the second part, well, what about eating them up the last 2.7 games, just to stick it in there a little bit? I would have thought about that. I would have said, you know what? That actually sounds kind of good. You're telling me they're not going to score for 24 innings? You're going to punk their ass 8-0 in San Diego and then punk their ass again 2 days later in LA to close it out to the Dodger fans, all 56,000 of them? Shit. And you're going to have my boy hit a home run and my other boy, the Hernandez boys hitting home runs to clinch it?
Yep.
Come on, guys. A lot of this is entertainment, right?
Yeah.
So, what has changed from 8 days ago? Come on, did you guys ever see me going on air with glasses and all fucked up? This is what confidence looks like. This is what positive energy looks like. And we're here to watch it. We know we got a pretty big crowd here the last few weeks. Even before the trade, it was coming. This was kind of the clincher at this point. So I am kind of in that boat where I gotta see Luka in that jersey and playing on the court. It hasn't maybe fully registered. I'm about 99%. I'll admit that, but it's gonna happen here in about 24 hours, less than 24 hours. And I've already got my gear ready, guys. G, you saw the link I sent you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, you saw the text I sent you. Okay, I hadn't bought that shit in 20 years. So we know this is real. We know this is next level. And we're all going to be here for a very long time. And we're going to be talking shit. And we're going to be watching some wins. And we're going to be watching some championships. Barring injury, you all got to get ready. You're going to get ready. You're going to hear a lot of shit coming here. And it's going to be all good stuff. I can't wait. I can't wait. I've been waiting for this for a while. It's been a while. It's been a long while. And I'm tired of being in that red zone. I don't want to be in the red zone. I'm in the black zone. You all know how I roll. I like the black zone. Although the Dodgers are in the blue zone and my boy Kiki's back. So I got to represent. So again, I'm excited, guys. I'm so excited to the point where I don't even know what to do with myself. There's never been in any time in my life where the Laker and Dodger synergy have been even. The Lakers got their Shohei Ohtani 8 days ago. And in a billion years, if you had came to me on that Saturday morning or afternoon before it happened, and you said, Joe, the Lakers are going to get their own Shohei Ohtani, I would have looked at you and said, I was just sort of probably just stared at you. Yeah. Thanks for coming out. Now go away. I kept thinking of that scene in Glorious Bastards. Gerald, do you remember that scene when they're talking to Hans Landa? Jeff, I don't know if you saw the movie, but
it's been a long time. But
okay, so they're sitting in that seat, and he's telling Brad Pitt's character that 99.9999 of the time you'd be right, but in the history of life, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, there's that one time where something gets through. That was the Lakers 8 days ago.
Yep.
So with that, Jeff, how far do you think this team can go this year, this season? Because I've stated everybody wants our thoughts on how far the Lakers can go in its current format with this rotation, with this roster. I said that you throw them out against any team in the playoffs. I didn't say they would beat them, but I said they will be competitive and give any team a lot of hell for a 7-game series, no matter who it is, because Luka and LeBron, if they're playing like they are capable of playing in the playoff run, they're both going to be very hard and difficult to stop. So again, with that, I think that, again, they'll be competitive against anyone in a playoff mix. Your thoughts on how far the Lakers could go this season? We all know what the future could hold because the future is now really, really good for the Lakers, but what might the short-term future be for this team?
Yeah, I mean, I look around the NBA now, and there really is, it's as wide open as I can remember it. So I think with that being said, and to Joe's point, what he said earlier about the Lakers now have a closer now. So if their defense can defend the way they have the last 4 to 6 weeks, and I know AD's not here anymore, but they have been defending greatly without him still. If they can defend this way, if their offense remains this efficient, and if Luka comes in and closes out games the way he's capable of doing, then things can get very, very interesting. Matchups matter. Who they get in these rounds matter. But if you look around, like even Denver, like, where we just haven't had a way to beat them. Like Luka averages like 27, 28 against them. So Murray got someone to guard now, right? You're not stopping Joker anyways. AD wasn't doing it, and it took AD completely out of his game. Now he put up numbers, but he was gassed in the fourth quarter of every game. So even if AD had 24 going into the fourth, for the most part, he was going to be done come the fourth because he was guarding Joker and had to have the ball in his hands, and LeBron's legs were gassed at the end of those games. How many times did we see LeBron take bailout threes in those fourth quarters? It's no shade to LeBron. It just didn't have anyone else can go get his own shot, and now he does. And that changes everything. And I think on top of that, look, I like what JJ has done, and I think you give him someone like Luka Doncic out there, and that just adds to what he's kind of talked about and things what he could talk about with the two ball handlers, hand off to another ball handler, two big guards that you can kind of run a pick and roll and pick and pop with off action of ball handlers. There's a lot of different things that JJ can get creative with. I think the Lakers, if Bron and Luka can shoot the three at a percentage that's higher than they have in their career, if Luka can get to the mid to high 30s, if Bron can stay in the mid to high 30s, that changes everything. But their ability to draw fouls, put the ball on the floor against a lot of these teams, and then having that clutch gene there now with Luka there, I think, Gerald, that I look around the West and I'm like, my God, not only can the Lakers come out of the West now, which sounds crazy to say out loud this season, but guys, they can also end up with home court advantage in a round or two in the West, which also sounds crazy to say out loud. So the answer to that, Gerald, is God, I can't believe I can't believe I'm saying this. They could go out in round one, or they could go all the way. Like, I have no idea at this point because I don't know what this team is going to look like. I'll have a better feeling in a week or so. But no one scares me. Nobody. And if Luka comes in and we get revenge Luka, if we come in and it looks like Luka's dropped a few pounds and he's going to continue to lose some pounds throughout the season, and Bron's playing with energy, then look the F out, man, because the sky is the limit at that point. But we got to worry about injury, and we got to make sure defense can keep up. But outside of that, I like Joe said, we could be the game 4 in San Diego, looking at the Dodgers situation all over again. And they get on a roll, and they're already on a roll right now. If that keeps going, like I said, look the F out. Look the F out. I saw I was getting slandered in the chat there. That guy pulls up to my show. And it gets a little wild and crazy too. But I'm not making that up. I did look it up while we were talking. That was on Bleacher Report. So just for those for the Twitter fingers, I didn't pull that out my ass. That's an actual fact. So
welcome to our Lakers chat.
Welcome to the channel.
Yes.
Bunch of guys yapping around not knowing shit, right?
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nothing more I love than someone who can't stand me and wants to come up and just listen to me and get mad at everything I say when I don't even know they exist. Outside of that, it's kind of a cool thing. It never gets old. So it's a good thing.
Devin, thank you for subscribing. But yes, EmpireJeff, we have quite a few individuals that continue to flow the hate, to use a Star Wars vernacular, to us on a daily basis. In fact, I got a tirade this morning from Darren, but you know what? They keep coming back. Jeff, that's the thing. They somehow disagree with everything that we say, no matter what we say, but they still keep coming back. So what can I say?
Hey, so I mean, it's all love. I don't have a problem with it. My thing is, it just interests me. Like, I would never go watch or listen to someone or spend so many hours with someone I just don't like and want to challenge everything on it. I can't understand the mentality. But anyways,
100%.
Like,
it's the Howard Stern effect, Jeff.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, you're
they
that.
did their when they did their analytics back in the 80s and 90s, they found out that the people who liked Howard Stern listened for 45 minutes. The ones who didn't like him listened for 3.5 hours.
The Stephen A effect too, right? Like, people watch the tragedy, the tragic.
Well, the tragedy of Stephen A. Smith. The tragedy of Stephen A. Smith is he doesn't know half the shit he talks about.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's possible. What does he do all day? How do you not pay attention to any of this stuff? I'm going to tell you guys right now, if my profession was to watch sports and analyze sports, there'd be zero chance I would know everything about what's going on. Zero. Even hockey. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the fuck these guys do. What do they do all day? Play with their balls? He's just gotten away with it because he continues to get paid more and more and more and more to do it for shock value and clickbait. Kind of
Barkley-ish. These guys don't watch the game, stuff like that. It's again, look what we just experienced. It's what the base wants. It's weird, it's weird.
Well, maybe the base is stuck in that Walmart area.
Might
So,
be.
folks, Louis Vuitton is coming. Louis Vuitton is coming.
Eating paint chips. Check this out though, guys. So Luka over his career is damn near averaging a triple double against Denver. 27, 9.7, and 8.3 against Denver. That's just
That's just gonna change on the 22nd.
Yeah. Just that is that's going to be a big help, and that's the team that's been our Achilles heel, right? That's a thorn in our side, and I feel like if the Laker team knocked them out, if the Lakers knocked them out in the playoffs, I think they may just ride that. And it's like when the Dodgers beat the Padres, man. I think that energy of we just slayed them, and now it's just next level thing. We'll see though. But I'm extremely excited. Like I said, that DFS move, man, is such a good organizations make that move. And at the time when the Lakers did it, they weren't known as that, right? That was a move.
Well, I think it looks a lot better with Luka. I don't think
in the playoffs it was always going to look good. But I get what you're saying.
On the surface, no, because I didn't think it was going to look good because you could have used D'Lo's salary to get a bigger fish than what the Lakers would have gotten under normal circumstances. But Luka changes the dynamic of everything, EmpireJeff. So now you have a very good complementary player who does do things as far as on both sides of the ball, which is something the Lakers definitely need. It's just that can he become a little bit better as far as scoring, because no team has really asked him to score very much outside of 10 points a game.
Yeah, but that's what you're going to need. That's what you're going to need. Let me ask you though, because off the top of my head, I don't know the answer to this question. What day did they make the trade for DFS?
That was just right around New Year's, if I'm not mistaken. So
it was before January 1st.
Yeah, I think so. Was it the 30th, Joe?
Yes.
Okay. So they got in that early before it was at a bidding war. I was asking that question because I was trying to see. I didn't remember off the top of my head if that was after the January 7th when they had their first meeting with Luka, then it makes that trade look smarter. But if it was before that, then no. You know what I mean? But a move like that, because I remember when that trade we were talking about it last year. King and Rel, shout out to We Talk Mavs. They were constantly messaging me about DFS and saying how he's a winning player. He's a guy you want on your team. Like, you get that guy, you get a couple stars, you get some stuff. He's a guy that fills a role that will help you win in the playoffs. And he's exactly that type of guy that you add to a Luka, add to a LeBron. Had we got a big Vandal coming back healthy, that can, those little layers there can add things to your team. And it's why their defense, if you look at their defense since January 1st, and if you looked at the numbers when Max and DFS were on the floor together, from January 1st on, it was incredible. It was incredible. The Lakers were like a plus 30, something like that, since January 1st, with those two on the court. So now you bring Vandal in that equation, who's a natural guy who helps that, because with his defense. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I say, like, oh man, things can get crazy.
Let me ask you guys this. Again, the Mark Williams trade was rescinded. Do you see it? Again, I'm seeing this as a win-win for the Lakers. Either Lakers get a healthy, in this case, they didn't, a healthy, young, developing center that could have played alongside Luka for any number of years, with the biggest standing reach, et cetera, et cetera. You know all the metrics, you know all the dynamics of what was going to be with this trade. In this case, it didn't work out, so you get back the trade, you get back Connect, you get back Reddish, you get back the pick swap, and you get back the first-round pick, which you can use later on. But with Connect, you get someone that I think can still fit many needs for this team shooting-wise. He had started to play reasonably well again on the offensive side before he was traded. So I think, again, I don't see where the Lakers lose in this scenario, Jeff.
The only way they lose in this scenario is Dalton is butthurt over it. But if he's not, and look, it's not like they were shopping Dalton Connect. It's they had to give to get, right? And the situation went through. I think Dalton Connect playing with Luka, I think that's gonna. I mean, he can be, a Kyle Korver type ish, light maybe, but I look at someone like a Dalton Connect. I look at someone. I look at someone if you've got Bron and Luka running action up top, and you've got either like a Dalton or a Austin or a DFS, hell, even a Christian Wood. Like you got guys, even a Rui Hachimura, like a Gabe Vincent who's out the fountain of youth since he started to get healthy, right? You got these guys out there who 6 months ago probably didn't trust any of them. But there's something about situations, and there's something about when a team clicks, and there's something about when a team is gelling and they find their way, and there's camaraderie, and there's chemistry, and there's buy-in, and there's connectedness. When you have all that going, a lot of these guys who couldn't produce, now all of a sudden they are. And then you throw Luka into that. And I think that Dalton Connect, like Williams would have, is a guy who's going to benefit greatly for playing with Luka along with LeBron James now. So I was sad that we weren't going to get a big, like a starting level big, but at the same time, that was pricey. Dalton unprotected first, a swap, that was pricey. So I'm not throwing a tantrum that trade didn't go through. And I wasn't necessarily throwing a tantrum that they traded Dalton. But I'm perfectly fine with it. I hope he is.
Joe, any thoughts on that? I don't think Connect. Again, I've seen the kid off the court during the summer league. I saw how he interacted with his family, the fans, his fellow players. Doesn't seem like the kid that would take too much of a grudge. Obviously, getting the early lesson in the NBA on the business side of things, which I was hoping he's had that conversation with someone upon his way back to LA. Joe, your thoughts on this situation regarding Connect, a possible dissension? But honestly, the first time he gets the ball from Luka, I think that will all go away.
Well, coming into the Crypt today with Charlotte Hornet gear says something else.
Mm-hmm.
It likely says F you. If he gets over it, cool. But his initial reaction is, yeah, I'm coming back in with the opposing team's gear because that's where you set me. And in a lot of ways, I want him to think
that's what all he had.
I want him to be that. I want Dalton to be resentful. And now I want him to go, all right, motherfuckers, I'm going to come in here now and I'm going to be dropping dimes and dropping shots all over so that you don't trade me anymore. At least that's what I would do.
Okay. One layer I forgot. He also is a guy who transferred in college, so he's got a little of experience on at his own behest, right?
On more than one occasion.
Yes. So that's one thing I left out when I was speaking. So, at that point, maybe he's not gonna. He's an older rookie, right? So and I'm sure the Lakers, when they called, they probably said, look, like it's not like we weren't necessarily shopping you. We hated to give you up, but we're going for it this year, right? And we're not devastated that it went through, and we're taking you back. Like we still believe in you. We drafted you. We just going all in. We needed a big. It was a non-starter to not have you in the deal, and there's ways you can get through that, man. Like it's just I think you'll be okay. I said if, because you just never know the mind state of someone, but Dalton doesn't strike me as a sucker. Like he just doesn't to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but he I feel like he's a kid that's been through enough. I think he may look at this as a second chance and look to take advantage of it.
You agree, Joe?
It worked with Horry in 1995.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
They tried to trade him for Sean Elliott to Detroit. Something happened. Got nixed.
Yep.
Horry, in a lot of ways, might have played even with Hakeem Olajuwon in that finals.
He was amazing.
He was freaking unstoppable.
The series against the Sonics.
Sonics, playoff run in general, man. He was absolutely just devastating to everyone. And Horry has that. He has that mentality. You mess him up, he's gonna make you pay. And he made everyone pay in that run to the second back of the back-to-back for Houston.
He was such a better player. He was such a better player than people knew because he sacrificed his game, right, for winning. Overall, he was such a good player early on.
In Lakerland, Robert Horry is. I don't use the term legend very loosely. I know most of society does, but there isn't a single Laker fan that I know that doesn't absolutely love Robert Horry. Robert Horry is the mother effing man, and he always will be. He's an honest guy. He tells it how it is, and he performed in a way where you could even say that if it wasn't for him, the Lakers don't three-peat. That's how big of a player he was.
Yeah, they would be down 3-1 in that year.
So if I'm gonna gas up Dalton Connect, I'm using that example. All right, and this is me, guys. This is how I would do it. So I sit down to Dalton Connect. I'm like, all right, Dalton, tell me what you think. Really, really be honest. Don't hold back. Just tell me what's up. Well, Rob or whatever, Joe, you're a piece of shit for trading me. Cool. I'm glad you think that way. Now I want you to make me pay for that. We're all wrong. We're human beings. We're going to be wrong. The question is, are you going to get ass hurt by it, or are you going to take it? And if you take it, can you help those who you were wrong about? They come back and like, dude, I'm going to show you what I got. Good. Show me what you got. I'll admit that I was wrong, despite the business side of this crap. And man, you got Luka Doncic now throwing the ball at you, so you're gonna get a half a second. You're gonna get at least a half a second more to shoot that ball and make it now, based off of his basketball IQ. We're not gonna know. Jeff said it best. We don't really know. I've been asked 100 times off air, Joe, how's this gonna play out? Joe, what's gonna happen here? I'm like, can you wait a minute? Let's just see what happens. I have a good feeling on what's going to happen, but some guys are going to work better than others. We're going to find out. You can only put 5 guys on the court at the same time. So let's see what happens. But I have a good feeling that Luka and LeBron are going to work very, very well. Why? Because they help each other out in departments that they've been using too much energy in, and that is ball handling, dictating, passing, and initiating. So tell me how this is not going to work. You answer this question, crowd, that I'm going to ask you right now. A LeBron James who doesn't have to kill himself initiating an offense because for some reason maybe AR can't compete with whoever he's playing with that day, or maybe Gabe Vincent can't do something, whatever. How is it going to be in the fourth quarter towards the end when LeBron has only really initiated the offense throughout the game for about 20 minutes versus 35 minutes versus 32 minutes? This week, only lifted for 3 days. I was lifting 6 days a week for a month. When I lifted tonight, or today, earlier in the evening, my strength was off the charts. So rest and less taxing activity is an advantage because you let your body heal. You notice when LeBron doesn't play for a game or two, you see a little bit more pep in his step. It's that quick, guys. It's that quick. So he's going to get a lot more of that. And more important than that is, Jeff, what is the usage rate on Luka the last 7 years? I mean, does he not have the ball virtually every freaking second when he's on the court? Imagine now Luka doesn't have to do that now. How much energy is he going to have towards the end of the games? These are the things that we're going to look at and expect to see what's going to happen. And that's a lot of my excitement. You're going to tell me that you're going to get a fresh LeBron at the end of games and Luka? How the fuck are you going to beat that? You have no idea how good these guys are, guys. You have no idea. All the detraction, all the negative things we've said about LeBron and Luka being told that he's lazy and fat. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell fat is these days. What is fat? What's fat? You can honestly tell me that looking at Nikola Jokic and that guy has the physique that you want? What about Tyson Fury? He was whooping everybody's ass left and right for about 5-6 years with that physique. What exactly is fat? So
Fat is the guy who was calling Luka fat.
Right?
that guy is pudgy.
Okay. If you want to call somebody fat, make sure you're not fat, number one. And also make sure when you're calling somebody fat, they're fat. But then again, it is subjective. Are you talking about 5% body fat? Are you talking about 10% body fat? Height-wise, guys, all those specs, all those details, a lot of times, 95% of the time, they're all bullshit. You sit there and somebody's telling me, oh, this guy's 6'3". And I'll somehow end up finding, standing next to this person. I'll be like, this motherfucker ain't 6'3". What are you, nuts?
With shoes on, they say.
Right?
That's what they played, right?
Yeah, I'm tall too if I
kills
put my Wolverine boots on. I'm really tall when I put those on. But who is he when he's not wearing shoes? And how much does he really weigh? How much does this person really, really weigh? I'm talking about no clothes, weighing. Not wearing a bunch of parkas and shoes while they're doing that, right?
Yeah.
Now, on the court, you do wear shoes. So I guess on the court, you could add those inches on there. However, I will say this. And this happens a lot to young players. When I was in my 20s, I mean, I already feel like this now, even in my 40s, but in my 20s, I was indestructible, guys. I had no problem. I was as arrogant as they came, and I was indestructible in the 20s. I'm telling you right now, I get it. Now imagine professional athletes. It's times 50. So what happens next is I want Laker Nation to sit back and understand who the Lakers got here the last 8 days. They got him. We talk about him with Austin Reeves, with LeBron. LeBron is great. Austin Reeves is a good player. But the Lakers got him for the next decade. And I'm barring a major catastrophe in terms of health, injury, torn knee, whatever. Luka Doncic is going to win MVPs and win championships in abundance with LA. Because if there's one thing the buses have done in the last, 45 years?
Roughly,
is when their team is competing for titles, they keep adding to it. They don't scale back like the numbnuts in Dallas. They don't scale back like the idiot Reinsdorf in the late 90s when they probably would have won 4 championships in a row if they had just brought the team back. They had a freaking 50-game regular season that following year after 98. Imagine giving those guys that rest and letting them play a 50-game season. They would have won that year too. So the Lakers don't ever relent on championship pedigree. That's one thing they've never done. They will continue to add, and if you don't perform, they'll get rid of you too. They're going to be in a position now where they're going to be able to supply this with whatever it needs to make it work. And for me, being a Laker fan, and for me, seeing the Celtics win last year, it's imperative that they get back to tying this thing up immediately. Otherwise, we're not going to see this thing done in our lifetime. And that's the only thing left at this point.
Yep. I want to talk about the usage rate you mentioned. So Luka for his career is at a 35% usage rate, which is extremely high. To put it in context, LeBron is about 31.5 for his career. LeBron's about 30.5 right now this season. Luka's about 32.5 this year. So Luka's gone down a little bit. LeBron has gone down a little bit. Now, ideally, 28-ish, a little lower, probably would be kind of what you'd be aiming for, and for these guys down the stretch, barring someone else getting injured. So just because usage rate is kind of a thing with these guys playing together is going to obviously alter that. So and it's going to get them further along. And I think that could help their health. So just wanted to, so I was looking up those numbers while we were talking, but those are kind of where their usage rates for their career, where they are currently this year. But I expect that to dip for both of them playing together.
Okay. That again, I just think it bodes well for the future, both short term and long. Right now, they're a team that could compete with anyone in a 7-game series. But like you said, it's a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to see out of this team and its current formation, so you don't know how far they can go. But you would give them a chance in any single round that they would appear in, which is something I could not have said with AD and LeBron together, which again brings us back to the heartbreaking news for Mavs fans in regards to Anthony Davis, who is now out a month for re-aggravating his abductor muscle. Do you think he came back too soon from that abductor muscle injury because he wanted to go ahead and please the Mavs fans and who are so hurt, distraught right now over what happened with the Luka trade?
I think he came back. Jeff. Yeah, I think he maybe came back a little too soon, but honestly, I think he went too hard when he came back. When I was seeing AD flying around, being all amped up, doing those plays, that looked like 2021 AD, and look what happened to that. Like, his body can't handle that level of energy anymore. He can't do it. He's not as agile as he used to be. So when he was out there trying to be 21 AD and 25, he's asking for it, especially coming off a situation. You know, that groin, like I'm hearing, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he could get surgery. So it's bad. So it's that's why when AD said that in the locker room after Saturday's game, said it's not serious, he's going to be fine. It didn't feel that way. The vibe did not feel that way. The team, it felt like they were concerned. So if he needs surgery, then their season is even out a month, even if they rest it. Because look, guys, this could be like the Vandal thing, right? Where you rest hoping not to need surgery, and then all of a sudden, then you need it, and then you're done. So you're sitting here, you just traded Luka because of he can't stay healthy, right? AD has been much better than that. He's been much better the last 2 seasons, and but AD, we talk about usage rate, and when you talk about him thrusting AD back into that number 1 option, you are playing with fire at this state of his career. Because when he took it to the next level, his frame can't handle it. It just can't handle it. And it was great to see him playing like that. It felt like it was 2020/2021 AD. But the problem, that's not his body anymore. And his body immediately was like, "Yo, what are you doing? Like this isn't us. Like, what are you doing?" And now, sadly, I'm sick for AD. I hate that. It was terrible to see. I said at the time, like when he said "I'm here," I was like, it pains me to say what he meant was at the training table, because if you're gonna play to that level of energy, AD's body, sadly enough, is not going to receive that well. So if he needs surgery, which guys, he might still, that is terrible. And I feel sick for him. I do. I know Joe him. He says, F him, don't care. He's not ours. But the guy got us a chip. He handled this. He didn't go out there bashing the Lakers on his way out. There was no drama. He shouted out the city. I was pulling for him, It sucks to see.
Alan, it's Reddish you're talking about. Reddish has been out, but even before the trade, he was out for personal reasons. He has not been cut yet or waived. He is a member of the Lakers roster, but he had been out for personal reasons before the trade. To clarify that, we mentioned it on last night's show. So I'm not sure what's going on with Reddish behind the scenes, but I don't think 100% that this trade and rescinding of the trade has something to do with it, because again, he had personal days before the actual trade commenced on that. So he may be the most likely person to be waived if the Lakers do get a buyout offer from someone out there. Is find a player that has, like Jeff was saying, the $12.9 million or under salary limit that they can go ahead and go after. So if that person becomes available, most likely Cam Reddish will be the one that's taken off. But then again, we don't know Christian Wood's status. His Vengeance tour has been on hold now for how long? Quite a bit. That's what I remember. I mean, he was all ready to go. Do you remember that, Jeff? Summer?
Yeah.
All ready. Vengeance
Whenever
tour.
they say that, I cringe. I cringe when
it was like 2 weeks later. I think that 2 weeks later. Oh, I'm sorry. He's out with knee surgery. All right, great, awesome. But again, we have to have someone that materializes first before I think they'll go ahead and make a move. They're just not going to go ahead and cut someone. Unless they have someone in mind, it would be my estimation on that. But Joe, again, if we go into tomorrow, or actually later today, because it's past midnight, but later today, on the eve, something really good, something really special. I'm excited,
Yay!
man.
A subscriber.
You guys are talking about how your excitement. Thank you, Win86, for subscribing. Truly appreciate it. So, you guys are so excited. As a casual Dodgers fan, not the hardcore super fan that you guys are, I envied your jubilation when the Dodgers reached that pinnacle.
Hmm.
And I just feel some of that now getting Luka in this trade. You obviously could see it as far as if everybody else there watched the video of when it happened and our reactions to it. Joe, that day has arrived. That day when Luka finally hits the court for the Los Angeles Lakers.
I was trying to think of what the comparison was, because it's easy to say Shohei Ohtani. Luka is the Shohei Ohtani of the Lakers, but in terms of how that developed, it's not the same. Nothing will ever be the same as Luka being traded to LA, because there was some common sense behind Shohei coming to LA. The Dodgers didn't really commit too much for a few years, knowing that they were getting ready for Shohei.
I know the comparison.
You know that, right, Jeff? I mean,
no. I mean, I know what the comparison is. It's not Shohei.
Go ahead. Tell them the comparison.
It's Mookie.
Right.
It's Mookie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. In a million years. Now, it wasn't as like box office as Luka, but when I started hearing in 2019 that there's a possibility that the Red Sox are not going to sign Mookie Betts, and there's this discussion about him going to LA, I'm like, what the fuck? What? What do you mean you're not going to sign? What, are you stupid?
My God, yeah. He was my favorite player. I couldn't admit it because he was in Boston, but he was my favorite player.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What do you mean come to LA for what? Like, I remember I said exactly that. I'm like, Mookie coming to LA for what? They're like, yeah. They're thinking about trading him to LA. I'm like, why the hell? They just won a World Series in 2018. This is before we found out they were cheap pieces of shit. I was like, what do you mean they're going to trade Mookie? I don't understand what that is. Like, my brain again didn't compute. And then the freaking that's why. $365 million at that time, guys. I know it's been a minute here, but I was like, God,
that was
damn,
a whole lot of, and he delivered a chip in year one.
And not only that, those catches in that Atlanta series. Oh my God. I lost my voice in that series. I lost my voice because of the way Mookie reacted to those catches.
Yep.
And I go, all right, they got their guy. They got their guy. They won a title. This is what it's going to be. And then, of course, Shohei shows up a year, last year. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to drop some stuff here, guys, because I feel like I need to release it a little bit. But all those pieces of shit, cocksucking motherfuckers who kept saying that he didn't help win a World Series. I'm like, bitch, who the hell hit that 3-run homer in the San Diego game 1? What did you forget about that?
I was at that game. Yeah.
Okay, so
turned
you
that
think
whole series around.
There you go. If he doesn't make that hit, you think they beat San Diego? Fuck no.
Mm-mm. They lose 3 straight. They lost game 2. They lose game 3.
Exactly. And by the way, folks, Nestor, right? Everybody getting on Nestor, getting on Aaron Boone and all that bullshit. I'm like, who do you think made Aaron Boone walk Mookie Betts? You think that just flew in the air? Baseball is integral, guys. Little things matter in baseball more than any other sport. I've talked to you guys about the inches, the yards. In baseball, it's even more important. When Nestor threw that first pitch and Shohei swung and got that out, it was a productive out that made Aaron Boone walk Mookie Betts. And you know what else happened at that point? Freeman was talking to Shohei about what was going on.
Lefty.
Oh, y'all don't know this, right? Like, I've had this discussion with other people who were yapping, not on chats. I'm talking about on that picture just came out, didn't it? I talk to people, and it's hard for people to comprehend baseball. For some reason, baseball maybe. For the slow brains, they don't get how it works. When the baddest motherfucker on the planet got out on one pitch, even when he got out on that pitch, he still was productive. He still advanced the runners, despite on whose fault it is or whatever. And it created one of the greatest moments in baseball.
And he walked straight to Freddie. He didn't go to the dugout. He went straight to Freddie.
You think Freddie's swing was just coincidence? You don't think he kind of knew what was coming? Guys, you have any idea how good baseball players are in the major leagues? You're going to learn something here. You're going to learn a lot here in the next year. If you all want to listen, we're going to teach you a little bit about how baseball works. So today is also a great day. We got our boy Kiki back, Mr. Clutch, Mr. Robert Horry of the Dodgers. Is that a good assessment, Jeff?
Yeah, for his clutch playoff moments.
More of a Derek Fisher.
Derek Fisher, he's more. Who's becoming. Robbie, it's funny because I was thinking about that. My Dodger comparison to him. I think Kike's Fisher. I think Teo is becoming Horry. I've been talking about the fans. You talk about legends and the love and then the whole like thing. I'm talking about like the aura of it. You can almost flip flop him though, Joe. You can almost flip flop him. But Horry had multiple of those shots. But then again, so did Derek. So. I just think the love that Teo gets, like Joe, you saw. I've never seen a fan base flat out like if they would have took Teo for the same money as Soto, Dodger fans. Like they would have. You know what I mean? The love for Teo was so crazy. And Kike, once it became we got Teo back, then Kike rose again. I'll talk about for an entire season. I think you can flip-flop those guys though, but they're the Derek Fishers and the Robert Horrys of that Dodger team coming up big. They got them for those moments in the playoffs where those other guys get walked when the pressure's on those other guys. When you have role players like that can step up and take off that tension. That's what someone like a Kike, someone like a Teo, someone of those caliber type players. You have to have those guys, and we got them.
I just say, Alan, you can't go by whether or not it's a definite that they will play. They're listed as questionable. Let me bring it back on the screen because LeBron James is the epitome of Mr. Questionable because he's questionable virtually every game of the year.
Yeah.
You saw how that goes. When it's questionable, it can go up or down. As you saw with questionable, for the last game, it went down. Previously, questionable, it went up. Most likely, if Luka's going to be there and ready to play, LeBron will be ready to play as well. Dalton is questionable due to personal reasons, probably stemming from the trade, but we'll see what happens with that. Bronny James is listed as doubtful. There's so many puns you could put in there. I won't even start with that. And of course, Maxi Cam, who is still out with personal reasons, and Christian Wood are out for the game. So, and Austin Reeves is probable. So,
but ESPN picking up that game again. For this one,
it's funny. They flexed into the Indiana game, Jeff, and then they flexed out of the Indiana.
Yeah, but they haven't flexed out of this one. So I think that I think they have some assurances, and for what it looks like Vegas thinks he's going to play, which is probably a good sign. So barring that whole thing, how you'll probably hear, we'll see how he does in warmups, shoot around, whatever, kind of go that route. Do you guys think? I think he plays tomorrow. Do you guys think he plays tomorrow?
I think he does.
Yeah, I think he plays tomorrow.
And the Indiana game wasn't for naught. I thought it was an entertaining game, except the refs did take forever to do things. But a lot of that had to do with that piece of shit, Rick Carlisle. So I'm just, it was still entertaining in the end, whooping their ass and seeing Austin Reeves drop 45 on them. Which,
that game was important. That game may come into play because there may be a game where Luka or Braun miss a playoff game or something like that. Austin finding his way kind of this season as a playmaker as well. I think that's going to, he's never been a really good choice for me of a guy to play heavy point guard minutes. But he has surprised me in some of those moments to take care of the basketball, not a shot making or taking ability, but to be able to dribble out of pressure. I have some real concerns with that. And a game like that, Joe, that can give a guy confidence in a playoff game to go out there and do that with one of the guys down.
The concentration of the opposition on Luka and LeBron. I'm not trying to dog on AD. You know how much I love AD. Still do. I love AD because I think a lot of
in the past few days that has been questioned by our audience in certain times. I do know on a personal level how much I
love AD. Okay, I still do. There was something about AD from not only his basketball skill set, but I just like how he carries himself.
Yeah, he's genuine. Seems like a genuine, real dude. Good dude.
However, it's always better to, I hate using the word getting rid of. I don't want to use that word. It's better to advance your future a little bit earlier than too late. And the Lakers, in a lot of ways, were looking at, I use the word the abyss. That was a big thing where, okay, if LeBron decides to hang it up in 2026 when his contract is over, now what? Are you going to trade AD in the summer of 2026? If you do that, he's pretty advanced at that point. You're looking at a guy that's going to be, 33, 32? And he's got a lot of mileage on him. So his value is going to go lower even more. So even if you did want to rebuild whatever, are you going to get enough back for that particular player, or are you going to maybe retool with him? Well, retooling with him wasn't probably the right way to go. You would have probably had to have traded him, and then you wouldn't have got likely the amount of assets that you would get like you did now. But I didn't know they would get Luka. That was way out of left field. So in the end, looking at it from a outside perspective, forget about being a Laker fan for a minute. If somebody came and told me, all right, Joe, look, you're gonna trade AD who's still somewhat in his prime. You're gonna get rid of him a little earlier, but you're gonna get Luka. No one is gonna say no. And if anyone does say no, then they're probably not the right person to be making that decision. And then on top of that, Luka is a completely different beast. Luka is the only player that I feel that has the clutch gene in the NBA. De'Aaron Fox won an award for it, sure. I'm sorry, let me say this. Luka Doncic is the only one in the NBA that I feel has the Mamba mentality. That's the better phrase. He's the only one.
I think
Yes,
there's guys that think they have it, but they don't. Yeah.
right. Jokic, Giannis, some of the great players out there that are playing. Luka's the only one. And the fact that he's coming to the Lakers that's probably the amazing part about it. You're telling me you're gonna bring in Luka, the only guy that has that mentality, the thing that we were missing this whole time, someone that we couldn't depend on the last couple minutes. You're telling me that guy's coming? Okay, I'm all in. Doesn't matter who we would have given up, especially at 25 years old, who's going to be 26 in about 15, 18 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still floating at this point. And I had to kind of scale back my criticism of management, and to the point where I had to eat shit. I had to eat shit and say, hey, I screwed up. I did screw up. I was not patient enough to wait for this thing to get fixed. I called Jeannie names. I called Rob names. It sounded personal. And now I'm sitting back looking like a complete chump. And that's what it is. I overreacted. I should have waited. But it's because it's easy to be supportive in good times, but it's the bad times that really kind of expose those who don't. And I look like that same guy that, when the going got tough, I was the one sitting there being a chump. So now I got to eat it. I got to lay in that shit that I created. And the best thing I can do now is support. And Jeff, we talked about this on our, outside the show. Is it always? I know that because of what we know in terms of the LA thing. If I had a choice, sure, the 27% that the Guggenheim's own of the Lakers, if there's a possibility of them taking over the 51%, absolutely, I would be very ecstatic for that, because I truly believe they'd run the organization very well. But I will say this: it's not always a good thing to have $1 billion business take over someone who's doing things right. And Jeannie and Rob did something right. Sometimes it's not always the right idea to go hire the billionaire. This is something different now. It's Jeannie pulled a Dr. Bus move. This was her most Dr. Bus move ever in her career. And if you can't understand that as a Laker fan, then you might not have been here that long to understand what that means. And Dr. Bus used to say, we'll figure it out, whether it was the CBA, whether it was a lockout, whether it was caps, whatever. His motto was always, we'll figure it out. And Jeannie figured it out. She figured it out at the right time before this collective bargaining agreement took him by the throat and choked him to death. You have to give props to that, regardless of what you felt before. And again, if you felt like you were inconsiderate, like I was, well, you admit you screwed up, and you sit in the corner and just understand that that's probably where you're going to stay if you were to ever converse with these people.
Mm-hmm. And she never sent Rob out of here and made him the fall guy. She stuck with her guy.
There's no other way to say it. There's nothing else. When you screw up, when you make a mistake, you have to own up to it. We're not in those meetings. We're not Sham Charania. We're none of these guys. We're fans. We're fans analyzing something just like any random person, right? But I would like to think at some point, with our knowledge and our history and our ability to retain the information and have a good, coherent understanding of how to express what should happen, what shouldn't happen, there's some validity there in how we do that. So, like like anything else in life, because we are human beings, you can be wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong in this. And to make up for it, as much as I can, there's going to be full support with management, with ownership, and the support's always been there, but it came at a cost of negativity. But at this point, it's really done. I can't. I have never felt, and I saw Paul Gasol on the same day 15 or 16 years ago. It was the same day.
Yep.
I felt like a euphoria I had never felt at that point, and this one trumped that.
Oh,
How do you ever go back? Yeah, how do you ever go back to what you thought before after this?
Yep.
Especially if Luka wins a championship. All he has to do is win one. And history says when the Lakers acquire a talent like Luka, they always win a championship.
Yep. And the and I'm sure the league offers was dancing when that deal went down too. But I don't always look at comments, but I happen to look over and see one here that I kind of want to address. I can't see his name. It's Don't Tell Something. About, I don't know if you could put that on the screen here, because I want to address this comment here.
Which one?
He said that Rob
quite a bit for today.
Rob didn't do a single thing. I just happened to
Santa Cruz's.
I barely looked it over and just saw that right now. So
I know I saw it. There you go.
All right, so I want to. I like I said, I don't know this guy. I'm just discussing the take here. So he and this is. I have a feeling that there's some people who feel this way. So this is why I want to do a little pushback on this real quick. And he said that Rob didn't do a single thing. He had Luka dealt to him for nothing because the owner is a joke, and the Hornets came to Rob. Rob did not do a thing. Okay, so a couple of things I want to talk about that up. First of all, Rob had the draft pick available that he didn't blow on another player to make that trade possible. He also had a young, well, people around the league see as a 3-and-D wing signed to a very reasonable contract below league average that other teams had value in. He also had the guy that Dallas singled out as the guy that they wanted, and Rob traded for him in 2019. Rob got AD. Rob had the pick to move. Rob had Max Christie, who Dallas coveted. And Rob, most importantly, had the relationship with Nico Harrison. Those are all to do with Rob. Every single one of those. So if you don't like Rob, that's perfectly fine. Is he a Hall of Fame GM? No. But at the end of the day, to say that Rob did nothing, how about keeping this shit quiet and it not coming out at all? Rob also did that. So at the end of the day, I don't know how many times I have to say it, but I'm going to keep saying it. There's no way Kobe keeps a guy around for 20 years who's a chump. I'm just telling you that right now. He had some bad luck, made some stupid decisions as he was going through it. Yes. But at the end of the day, every reason why the Lakers got Luka had everything to do with Rob. Because he had the piece that Dallas wanted. Rob traded for him. He had the picks. He had Max. He kept it quiet. He had the relationship. Point blank, period. You don't like Rob? That's perfectly fine. A lot of people don't. Some do. Don't really care one way or the other. But to simply say that a GM fumbled his way into Luka Doncic, you're tripping. Flat out.
You can't deny it at this point, guys. This is common sense. 3.5 weeks. Did you even hear the word clutch in those 3.5 weeks and even after the trade?
Nope.
This is the difference, guys. This is what it's very similar. Since we're talking Dodger baseball, I was a massive detractor from Dave Roberts. Why? Because I felt he played too much to the card. He didn't manage with his instincts. What happened in 2024? He starts bunting. He leaves Walker Buehler in when normally he wouldn't. He left Blake Triton in when he normally wouldn't. Folks, just because you screwed up before doesn't mean you can't make it better later. But we don't know that until it happens. And when it happens, you have to admit fault. Not maybe for the mistakes they made before, but you also have to understand that you have to give props when it does work. Otherwise, you just look like an ass. So
Yep.
Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, 8 days ago, changed the narrative on their careers. It just
And as we
did.
said before, well, we said this before, Joe. Rob has engineered the best and worst Lakers trades of all time.
He has. He has. There's just
Because I know don't tell has been like hounding with Westbrook.
Oh,
We
I just
said on the show,
barely saw that one chat he put. I haven't seen
he's
like
put it.
everything
He's
else he
put
put.
Westbrook. Yeah, he sprinkled Westbrook over there the past few minutes. But we've always said on the show, Westbrook is the worst Lakers trade of all time. He authored that deal, but he was presented with the deal. But he had to get the deal done. He had to find the right chips in place so that Dallas would accept the deal and still manage to have assets to trade for something else. So again, the best and the worst. Jeff's not saying he's the best GM, Lakers GM of all time.
No.
Never said that. Never said that. So don't even intimate that. He said right now he has done what he's needed to do to retain his job going forward.
I mean, if you look at it, just let's say the Lakers do something this year. Let's say it's probably going to be a result of the Luka trade. It's probably going to be a result of the DFS trade. It's probably going to be a result of hiring JJ Redick. It's probably going to be a result of stashing Austin out of the draft. It's probably going to be a result, if Vandal's able to contribute, of trading for him. It's probably going to be a result of Rui Hachimura contributing and trading for him. Who got all these guys? They stole Rui Hachimura for 2 second-round picks and a second-round pick swap. Everyone thinks 3 picks. It wasn't. It was 2. He purchased a pick to get Christie, signed into a favorable deal, and was able to flip him. Not liking a guy fundamentally or having an agenda is one thing. Not being able to realize that 1 + 1 is 2 is another. You know what I mean? Totally different thing. So if anyone is sitting here that drunk in the chat a week after they just traded for Luka and is slandering Rob, at least give it a chance to fail before you slander him. He just got Luka freaking Doncic. Now, however you think he got him, he got him. He got him. Happened on his watch. Just like the Russ did, even though that was his stars who wanted that deal. Happened on his watch. He had to wear that because he did something for his stars. Well, he gets to claim this because he, again, on his watch. Point blank, period. And if you tell me you got to go through Westbrook to get to Luka, sign me up for that over and over again. Because we got Luka. We had no chance of getting him, and we got him.
And this is not on his watch setup. On his watch, you could say AD because Clutch brokered it. Okay, this was all based off the information. All Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Rob had everything on this. There wasn't any Clutch involvement. There wasn't anything outside going, hey, we're going to do this. Was his relationship with Nico due to the fact that they both knew Kobe for years. Nico Harrison worked at Nike for 19 years. These guys knew each other very well. They sat there because they're boys.
Mm-hmm. The relationship.
This thing did not get out. And I believe, and I've said this on the previous shows, that because everyone wants to be in denial, and maybe it's true, maybe we don't know really, but common sense tells me maybe they didn't tell anyone. Maybe LeBron didn't know. Maybe AD didn't know. I'm going to take that as a reality.
The fact that no Clutch client was involved, I think is realistic that nobody knew at this point. Because if that got out, that would have been. I read something. I don't know where. There's been so many stories out. I think I read somewhere that the league didn't know about the trade until the paperwork came into the office.
Dude, Danny Ainge didn't know until 30 minutes before the trade.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know who to quote that because there's been so much information out there. But you know what he's done here, and even though the AD thing, quote unquote, not on his watch, it was still with the players that they drafted that got AD, including the lottery pick they got there. So it's Magic was making ridiculous offers to the Pelicans. Ridiculous offers to the Pelicans because he thought he was going to get AD no matter what and get him for free. That's how they lost Paul George, right? Just making insult offers. Rob emptied the clip. That's why they got him. And so,
and let me just say to Santa here one last time. It doesn't matter what you or I or Jeff or Joe think of Rob overall because he has he has a spotty record. Absolutely as a GM. JHS, Zubats, if you want to give him credit for that or Magic credit for that, either which way, the Westbrook trade, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, it goes on and on. But also he has pluses with Christie, obviously developing into a rotation player. But he got the Luka trade done. So that's going to give him favor to Genie for quite some time. So it doesn't matter what you think, Santa, or anyone else out there thinks.
True.
Or I think, or Joe thinks, or Jeff thinks. He's going to be the GM for a long time to come because of this trade for Luka, unless it goes south, really south. And that's just a fact that you're going to have to deal with, and we're going to have to deal with for quite some time.
And it's not to say he's not going to make another bad deal or not make another bad draft.
Well, I'm just tired of seeing Santa Cruz. He's a bad GM.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a bad GM.
Doesn't matter. Zero credit. There's also another thing. There's one of these narratives I want to talk about because I hear this get mentioned all over the place as well. Every single player that signed a 1+1 deal 2 off seasons ago, every single one of them got a player option on the second year. The only ones, the Lakers ones, just didn't opt out because they had horrible years. Yep. But that every GM in the league was giving that contract out. Every single one. That's how you get a player like that. A player is not going to take a 1+1 at a team option and risk not having bird rights elsewhere. They're not going to do that. It's going to be, if you want a guy to take the pay cut at the minimum on a 1+1, it's going to be a player option on year 2. The entire league was handing out those contracts like it was a cafeteria. The Laker guys just opted in because Jackson Hayes had a legal issue. Christian Wood had a legal issue. Cam Reddish just wanted to stay in LA and there really wasn't anything out there, right? But all those deals, other teams would offer those guys the same exact deal. Point blank, period. It just didn't work out for the Lakers. So it's easy to target them. But if you go and look at every one of those 1+1 deals that those guys signed that summer, look at them. They're the same. They're the same. Now, it could have been another player, but it would have been a 1+1 player option. D'Lo's was 1+1 player option. D'Lo was on the market. He was going to get a 1+1 player option on a 2-year deal. All those other guys got the same. Any minimum they were going to get for another team was going to be the exact same deal. So again, hindsight is 2020. Other guys opted out because they had better years. The Laker guy, we saw what that situation was last year. They didn't opt out. All those guys who had extended time off the court, they had no choice but to opt back in. So a lot of these things that Rob gets dinged on, and I feel like I'm a Rob apologist. I'm not. I'm just trying to point out that it's not been all bad. It's not been all bad. And when you talk about Caruso, we had to get him in the first place, right? Who got him? You know what I mean? He turned him into something. The team turned him into something. That was a whiff. That was a whiff, but it's not like Caruso's leading him on any championship since he left. He's a good role player, yes. But I think a lot of people forget about that 2021. He was often injured with us that year. He wasn't really available come playoff time. And they were looking like, did he peak? Is this the guy? Made a mistake. Caruso's turned into a good player. But these things happen. Like for any of us, how many of us have sit up here and had a player we really liked that turned out to be a bum and a guy that we really hated that turned out to be good? We get it wrong all the damn time and we're not professionals. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, shit happens. But you got Luka.
Again, guys, Jeff kind of checks me pretty much every week. Jeff, that's fair, right? And the people who really are legit in your life are going to check you. You don't want people telling you what you want to hear all the time. And sometimes I'm adamant. Sometimes I'm stubborn. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I'll be like, F that. I don't care. But maybe I do that in the moment. But after I calm down a little bit, I'm like, God dang it. You're right. That's part of some of us, I guess Jeff, from what I've known here, knowing him for the last year, he kind of looks at things. He kind of maybe is a little bit more patient in understanding what's going on, whereas a lot of us don't. But the thing is, sometimes it works. There's more ways. There's more than one way to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
There's other ways, and I even commented today that a lot of times pressure might be what pushes somebody to make things happen too. You don't really know, but again, you screw up, you admit you screwed up, and you take it. Don't try to come back and go, oh, well, I tried to, that's not what I meant. No. We can't do that here anyways. It's already on tape. You don't look like an ass if you try to move the goalposts, as they say. And I'm not going to think about the Westbrook trade, the Zubats trade, losing Caruso for no reason. I'm done with that shit. I don't care anymore. I don't care. Much like how I don't care about the 2022 Dodger run, 2021 Dodger run, 2019 Dodger run. The only thing I think about right now is winning now.
Yep.
2024 plus, in my lifetime, probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, offseason I've ever seen. Today was a clincher of all clinchers. I mean, it was clinched already.
Any sport.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Any sport. And saying this, I don't know if it's hyperbolic. I don't know. Because how do you beat getting Shohei last year? How does that happen?
Yeah. I would say it's the greatest. It's the greatest 2-year run we've ever seen. Collectively, when you talk about the collective talent, like that they added after winning a World Series, there's so many different ways you can do it. Because obviously the best player in all of this is Shohei. But the run that they've just been gone on. If you just go back to 2019, and you just look year over year, they've built a dynasty. This was not overnight like people think. Like these stupid idiots out there that are just bashing. And for those who don't know, I've been single-handedly doing 20v1s versus Astros fans. Like I'm coming for them all year. So they messed up. They entered the chat, and now they gotta deal with what they did, what they started. They poked the bear, and they're gonna get it. So like at the end of the day, like what they did, this run that they on, but Shohei, Teo, Glasnow, Yamamoto, Kike, last year in and of itself was the greatest offseason ever. But then you just go and do it this year, what they did to add to that, and it's
and the majority of those guys took less money to stay or come to LA.
Yep.
People, the Dodgers, go ahead.
Other guys fumbled. Other guys fumbled. I mean, think about it. Boston fumbled Mookie, right? Atlanta fumbled Freddie. We know the Angels fumbled Shohei. A bunch of teams fumbled Teo, right? Teams fumbled Snell. So when you deal with bad organizations, when you're presented with a great one, Joe, who they're lining up to play for them? They're lining up.
And not only that, but they're renovating Dodger Stadium so that I want to mention this because I think it's too good to not mention. It's not just renovating their own stuff. They're trying to renovate the visitors area so that they can show who they are.
Executive chefs in the guest clubhouse.
Folks, I've only heard of this one time. I'm sure there have been other teams that have done this that we don't know about. I know the Bulls, according to Pippen and John Sally and those guys in the 90s, they said that Reinsdorf was next level with his services. But the one that really, really resonated since I was a kid was the San Francisco 49ers when Edward DeBartolo owned that team. Every player that played in San Francisco at that time used to say the same line: first class organization. And if you look back at those teams from 1981 to 1994, they won 5 Super Bowls, were competitive the entire time. And not only were they winning Super Bowls, they were dominating in those Super Bowls. couple of them were close, but most of them were dominating. They were dominating every year. So fast forward to 2020s. You're talking about the Dodgers have that same mentality. The only difference is this team is tighter and more equipped and ready for a decade-long run.
Yep.
Folks, we've had Shohei Ohtani. Yes, I'm going to say we, Dodger fans. We've had Shohei Ohtani for 1 year. He already has a ring. What the hell is going to happen in the next 9 years?
I hate when they don't let us say we. It's not we. I hate that shit.
9 more years of Shohei. If they end up winning 4 more titles, let's say, you're talking about now the Dodgers are obviously not going to catch up to the Yankees. Yankees have too many. They have 27 championships. However, what will happen, and the Dodgers have already been to more World Series than any National League team. However, they need to go and get St. Louis probably in this time period, which is St. Louis has 11 World Series titles. The Dodgers have 8. So if they win 4 more, they end up passing those guys, and then they're the class. They're the class of the Major League Baseball, anyways, at this point. But there is a path here that is gonna be there for a very long time. And then 8 days ago, out of nowhere, Genie. I'm just totally making this up, by the way. I'm just imagining this in my head. I'm like, man, Genie just said, bitch, I don't give a shit who the Dodgers are. This is still the Laker city. And I love it.
And the best thing we could have is both those teams competing for the city of LA, because look, the Lakers, a lot of when I'm looking at the books over here, man, like, oh my God, okay, they don't got the 25 pick. They got the 26, but they can't trade it. They have light protection on 27. They got the 28, can't trade it. They traded the 29. They got the 30, can't trade it. And they got 31 back. They'll have 32 once the draft hits. So when you look at all this and these things that they have, the Lakers, damn it, what's the number? I think it's like 56 million they can get to in outgoing money this summer. And it's not unreasonable. No, it's Rui at 18, it's Gabe at 11, it's Kleber at 11. Who's the other guy I'm missing? I saw they can get to 56 million in outgoing money. So you've got LeBron already here, and that's if LeBron stays with his money. I'm missing the fourth guy. There's another guy there. They can get to 56 mil. When
Are you talking about last year contracts, right?
Yeah, expiring contracts. They can get up to 56 mil.
So yeah, so we have Rui, we have Kleber, we have Vincent.
Who's the other guy? Because the number I saw was 56. Let me load this up. Hold on.
I think that's it. It's Rui, it's Max and Gabe.
No, Max is it. Max isn't there. Oh.
Maxi. I meant Maxi.
Oh, Maxi. Okay, so give me a second.
Between those guys, that's 22. That's
Rui 17.
40 mil. That's 40 mil.
Maxi gets to 28. Gabe gets to 39. Maybe it was Vando, but it's not expiring. But no, there was another one. Hold on. Let me check this because I have it on my. Hold on a second. 1 second here.
Hey, Che, I wasn't trying to be like Tom Cruise. I wore the glasses because my eyes were wandering while I was jacked up, but right now I sobered up. So I took the glasses off.
You just sobered up?
I started getting a headache from the sun in here with the glasses.
With the sun?
Well, artificial sun. I'm telling you, I've looked at this, Jeff.
Oh no, I see what it is. Okay, it would be if they could get their 56 million in money they could send out if Dorian Finney-Smith opts out of his deal. Okay, I know that was the fourth guy. So okay, there it is. So it would be those three, and I'm like, where's the fourth guy? And Dorian Finney-Smith, if he opts out of his deal, they unload those other three contracts, they can get the 56 million.
What's the likelihood of Dorian Finney-Smith not picking up his option?
He either signs an extension or opts out.
Okay.
He's not opting in. There's no reason for him to.
Yeah.
He either opts out to get a bigger deal or he takes the extension now to not risk injury or a bad playoff run. It would make no sense for him to opt out.
Especially if they win.
To opt in. It would make no sense to opt in. So if he does opt out, even if the Lakers like him, but they free up 56 mil, I mean, it doesn't have to be a free agent. You can take someone in via trade too. So, but let's say they extend him, or let's say that he opts out and re-signs with the Lakers. Okay, maybe it's not 56, maybe it's that 40 range that Joe was talking about. That's still pretty good. That still gets you a good player, and that's still with keeping Austin Reeves. That's still obviously keeping Braun. That's Luka, DFS, Vando. You know, there's still guys that you could build with. There's pieces here now. So that number is crazy. And now you're going to be able to sit here and you're going to have a guy that's going to draw people to LA now. It was hesitation to come play with Braun at the end here, but now Luka for 10 years in LA. That's the thing. It's Luka in LA. And all it takes is if guys start believing in the Lakers organization again, and you got this star player here, then the Lakers are going to be able to get guys no problem.
Yeah, there's no doubt that's already happened.
Yep.
Luka is maybe not talent-wise like LeBron, but he's going to have this better influence to come play with him because he's going to make you better. He's going to get you the ball. And if you're a talented ball player, the more talent you have with Luka, the better it is for his game as well, because now he's going to be able to control you on a string. You don't really know what the hell you're going to be able to do. He's either going to do a drop step, drop a three from the logo for all we know. He slithers around, making sure he can get to the spots he wants to go to. I always say he's a half a second ahead of everybody.
Yep.
And it's still a team game. I know I got some flack for, Joe, he got exposed in the finals. Well, he got exposed in the finals to a degree, but more than anything, Kyrie didn't show up. That was kind of the problem there. And that's what Boston did in that series, is they basically shut down Kyrie and just let Luka do his thing, and then obviously went after him on defense. Luka averaged 30 points in that series, a game. But they did that on purpose. They did that to kill the Kyrie effect. And as far as the Gaffords and the PJ Washingtons and the Liveleys, guys, the deeper you get into the playoffs, the harder it is for those type of guys to really be effective. That's why star players usually are the ones that are going to make this thing roll. So if one of them doesn't show up, if one of the stars don't show up, that usually means doom for you. You got to show up as a star. So there's so much into it. There's so much emotion to it. There's so much, you get caught up in it sometimes too, and maybe think outside your head a little bit. But at this point, thinking outside our heads is done, at least on my end. I don't care about anything other than, guys, let Luka cook, let LeBron cook, let the role players continue to do what they've been doing as role players. I don't have any doubt that any of these guys are going to be team players, and they're going to go after it. Now we just have to wait. Why would I hate Eli Manning?
Huh? Chat?
I don't hate Eli Manning. I do think he's kind of goofy on his commercials. He's kind of pretentious.
Yeah, he's a two-time Super Bowl champion.
Joseph. I can handle
Tom
Peyton.
Brady twice.
Yeah, I can handle Peyton. But Eli always has that kind of irritation about him. I don't know.
The commercials of the two of them like together going back and forth like two little kids, right? those are always funny. But
The best one is there's a small video on YouTube where Eli's eating chips.
Yeah,
and Peyton's in there. He's like, eat like, loud.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I haven't eaten all day. I'm like chewing.
Yeah. That's fun. NFL, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, those are funny. This is the worst. This is the worst Super Bowl I ever saw in my life today, though. This
Really?
I told you, Joe. Same thing here.
Maybe I was too fucked up to feel it, but I think the thing that sucked about it was I wanted to see a three-peat. And
yeah, me too. That's that I wanted to see that because I wanted to be us, got to witness it. I just never. It just was never a game. This game was never a game.
Yeah,
we'll witness it in 2027, Jeff, when the Dodgers or the Lakers.
Chiefs look like.
Well, no, I'm talking about it's never happened in the NFL.
I know.
Yeah.
Joe,
you're right.
There's only been there's been a three-peat, but here
it'll be a four-peat for the Dodgers.
There was a three-peat, but it was in between the creation of the Super Bowl. So in 1965,
yeah.
In 1965, the Packers won the NFL championship. 1966, they won the NFL championship again, but that was year one
of
Super Bowl one, and then the following year, that was the Ice Bowl game. Okay. They won that game, and then they faced the Raiders in Super Bowl II. Now there was a three-peat earlier with Curly Lambeau and the Packers back in the day, but it was kind of before the modern game. They won 3 in a row, but other than that, I was saying, like, we have to probably see this much like the 07 Patriots. If the Patriots had won in 07, you probably would have never seen it again. You're probably never going to see it again because now you have an extra playoff game that most teams play. You're going to get 18 games here soon because that greedy piece of shit that runs the NFL is going to want it. So are the owners.
The TV.
Yeah. But I will say this: the one positive about that is they are going to eventually get this Super Bowl the day before President's Day every year, and you're going to have a holiday, pseudo holiday after that, so people don't have to go to work the next day. That part I don't mind. But 18 games, playing Thursday, Friday games, Saturday games, that pisses me off. I wish they would stop making guys play on a Saturday and then play on a Thursday.
Yeah. Or play on a Sunday and play on a Thursday. Like that's brutal.
That's freaking stupid.
That is brutal. I felt like it was like I almost felt like they disadvantaged the team playing on Monday have to play again on Sunday, let alone Thursday. Like, man, that just sucks. But yeah, NFL's over. It's baseball, basketball time, man. So it's about to be, man. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm gonna have to lock myself in this room or just start going live on my phone because.
Are you ready to watch 162 games?
Oh yeah, easy. Well. I mean, I'm gonna go to a lot of games, so I'll still be watching it. But as far as like live on TV, pregame, postgame, all that stuff, oh my god, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Folks, Jeff and I will be eventually. We're gonna connect at spring training in. Why do I always forget the name? Is it
Camelback?
Camelback. There you go. Jeez. I keep thinking Peoria, but I know it's not there. So we're going to be there. I have family out there. My boy Ralph is on the chat. So we're going to go visit over there, hang out with the fam as well as watching the Dodgers. I've never gone to spring training, so this is going to be the first for me. But I have full confidence that the Dodgers are going to do something they've never done in their history. So the Dodgers have been around since 1884. The World Series has been played since 1903. There's only been 2 years where the World Series has not been played, 1904 and 1994. 1904, there was some kind of protest at that time. I can't remember what exactly it was. They didn't play it. And then obviously in 1994, the lockout strike season. So since 1903, the Dodgers have won 8 championships, but they've never won back-to-back. So this could be the year where they win back-to-back. And I'm not going to say that I'm expecting a three-peat. I'd like to see a three-peat.
Yeah.
I'm not going to see a three-peat with the Chiefs. I'd like to see the Dodgers do it. They're equipped to it.
That's what they added. Yeah, for sure.
They got the personnel and they got the chemistry, man. Let's get it done, guys. Let's try to do what the Yankees did in 1998, 99, and 2000. And then maybe we get lucky and they do a 4-peat. Who knows? I'm greedy like that.
Yeah, man. I can't wait. I'm telling you, me and the Astro fans are going at it, right?
Yeah, Astro fans we need to break those motherfuckers, man.
Just die slow. Just go.
Bregman, get back to Houston. Fuck you. Don't come anywhere near LA. Get back to Houston. Tell your cheating pieces of shit teammates to make one more run next year to the World Series so that the Dodgers can sweep your ass and at least get something out of what you assholes did in 2017.
The Muppet Prince over there, Altuve, but so just I can't. Yeah, F that, man.
Yeah.
These guys, that might be the most retarded, ignorant fan base in America. Like that they don't acknowledge the fact that they cheated. Not only did they cheat, but they snitched on each other. You know, good luck with that. Secondly, like they're in my mentions on like TikTok and IGs, like saying, that's why your city's burning. Like this fan base is a bunch of ass bags, bro. Like I cannot wait. I'm gonna be all over them all season. I'm not even that type of guy. I'm not even that guy. But they knocked on the door. I'm gonna answer. So
it's that bear, as you said.
Yeah. So it's I don't go look for it. Like I live by the law, like what 50 Cent says. It's very simple to me. I don't want no problems. But if you got a problem, I got no problem. No problem. You know what I mean? Like it's very simple, So bring it. I will bring it back, and it's gonna be fun.
I want them in the World Series. The talking is one thing, fine, but I want to talk while the Dodgers are whooping their ass when it matters. But I don't know.
I want to wear a buzzer to the parade.
I don't know.
Carry a trash can and a trash can lid.
Do the Astros have enough to get out of that weak ass AL this
trash
next year?
No, I mean they're a softball stadium, but nah, they're not.
No,
nah, they're unless they do some type of trade. I mean, again, losing Bregman after losing everything, like they're not gonna have that. Tuve's eventually gonna fall apart, man. He's like 4'11" with it's eventually gonna happen, man. Someone's gonna step on him. It's gonna be like their run is over, man. Their run is over.
It's unfortunate.
Yep.
It's unfortunate. Altuve was wearing a buzzer in 2019. We all know it. Hey, UConn, you really think UConn's going to three-peat this year?
Who?
UConn.
Oh, I think.
You follow college basketball, Jeff?
Not as much as I used to. So I obviously I know enough. I know UConn, but I don't. I used to be a big time college. I just don't have the time. It's just don't have the time. So if I can't get full of college football, college basketball, I'm not the guy anymore to talk about it because I just don't know enough about it, and I'm not the guy to fake the funk like I do. So even around draft time, I got to do like if I'm going to cover the draft, I got to do like a serious like cram session to try to get caught up on it because I don't watch. I hear the names, right? Like I'll see some of like the ESPN games or I'll see some of it, but I'm no way. Just like with the WNBA, I couldn't tell you two things about it. It's no shame, no shade to them. I just didn't have the time to get into it when it started to take off. Just didn't have the time. I was barely finding time for Laker content at the beginning of this year. Joe, we've been talking. My schedule is bananas right now, so it's hard to keep up with anything. So outside of what I just dedicate myself to, but college basketball, college football just isn't something I have the luxury or the time. I majority of the Saturdays I'm tied up with business, so it's like those days on college football's damn near non-existence for me unless I watch it on SportsCenter, the highlights.
But it's changed at least on the Lakers side a little bit, no?
It's changed. Oh yeah. I mean, it's not. It wasn't even. The Lakers side, yes. The basketball, Kurt, I see a question. I got you. The thing with the Laker thing was I'm excited about, but the NBA in general, I was just turned off to start this year. I had no joy in it. Like my thing is, I'm a very energy centric person. I'm a very patient person. I'm a very kind of give benefit of the doubt type of dude. But just this game is not the game that I enjoy watching. I'm not a get off my lawn dude. I understand there's some people that like it, but it's not my style of basketball. It's not the way I coached. It's not the way I play. It's not the way anything that I enjoy in the game. I feel like they took the worst parts of the game and maximized it. And it's just not something I enjoy watching. I don't like watching non-competitive shit. Like guys just giving up uncontested. It was one thing when it was happening in the All-Star game, which is why it's unbearable to watch. But to see it happen in NBA games and see it happen in playoff games, it's just turned my stomach. Like it wasn't something I could enjoy or put myself through. I look at like, not that I'm anyone that's special, but I look at like I've got better things to do with my time to watch guys who aren't going to try. You know what I mean? It's kind of how I took it. And even though the Lakers had kind of played over their head this year, I've been like catching them. Like, you know, I mean, I'll watch the replays. I know enough about it, but I'm usually like a league pass fanatic. I'm usually locked in. I'm usually watching just eat, sleep, breathe basketball. This is the first year of my life that I wasn't even excited when the season started. Like that's never happened to me. And I was feeling like very Frank McCourtish Dodger era. Is what I was kind of feeling. And that's kind of where I've kind of been with it. But I needed something to wake me up. I needed something to rejuvenate it. And I was like, son of a bitch. There it was, like last Saturday. So I made an attempt. I've done a couple shows in the last couple of weeks. I was gonna, all right, I'm trying to, but it felt like I was kind of forcing myself. Didn't feel like my heart was in it. And now I did a show that night, right? Like I was excited to do it. And I've been looking for something. And honestly, I was looking for something to take my attention away from the Dodgers. I did a whole offseason of covering the Dodgers just because the NBA just wasn't it for me at the time. But now it has potential to be fun again, man. I'm gonna cop some tickets. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be in the building. I'm gonna get to feel the energy. And I'll be back doing, you know, some pre-games, some post-games. I'll be with you guys. You guys can be with me. We'll do I'm back. So with me, it's always going to be scheduled. But as far as my attention span, listening to the games in the car on the way home if I'm leaving later, that's all back. That's all back because they gave me a reason now.
Dude, the off season for the Dodgers, it wasn't an off season for us.
No.
It tailed into, and I didn't get invested in Dodger off seasons until Shohei signed last year. As second I heard, because these things take forever. The hot stove is always forever. It's not like, oh, it's July 1 and the NBA starts signing their players that day, right? The Major League Baseball, it takes freaking 3-4 months. And I'm like, I can't be sitting on the computer all day freaking pressing F5 knowing that this shit ain't gonna happen for 3 months, right?
Yeah.
So that all changed though. The second I heard about a plane to Toronto, I remember it like yesterday. Something happened and I got on some internet thing and somebody's like, Shohei is going to Toronto. Oh my God, the whole world's falling apart. People are excited. I'm like, and I remember I was talking to one of my friends who's a Dodger. I'm like, what the hell is going on? He goes, apparently Shohei is going to Toronto, and what was it? Morosi said he was on a flight. There was apparently a Dodger Nation contact that said he's going to Toronto. I didn't know these guys at the time, right? I didn't pay attention to those guys.
I did.
I'm like, okay, well, what about this plane thing? They're like, yeah, he's apparently on a plane to Toronto. I go, how the fuck do these guys know he's on a plane to Toronto?
And
who told him this?
It was the Shark Tank guy. That was the best part.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
How did anybody did he tell his agent, hey, tell everybody I'm flying to Toronto? And then once that kind of got out of my head, because I was laughing so hard in my head, I'm like, why the fuck would he go to Toronto? That was the next question.
Yeah, it was never. I was very. If you go back and look at the threads of that day, I'm privileged to have. I'm privileged to have some pretty good DMs and pretty texts with some people in the sport, and I actually, well, I've got some stuff I could tell you off there. That one, I kind of stirred the pot a little bit. It may have cost me a little something because I knew something different. Especially and the Yamamoto thing too. The Yamamoto I had early. I had that.
You had that one. I didn't have anybody knowing anything other than you on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had that. Matter of fact, I had it to the point where I was taking bets that he wasn't going to that Rams game. I knew he wasn't. But the Ohtani thing, I didn't have the insight on Ohtani like I did with Yamamoto or Snell or Glass now or like I've been on a pretty good Dodger run with Intel. But Shohei was pure intuition for me. I just had known it for years, felt it for years, but I did get strong. I will say this. I did get immediate strong pushback on a particular site and channels reporting. And because that person said go with it, I did. And that one, yeah. So there was some good people who were trying to be first instead of right and got burned. And that's why I say I will never, ever, ever be in the news breaking business. I will never, ever, ever be a scooper. Like I'll never be that. I want to cover it. I want to break it down. I don't want to say predict, but I can kind of be a read the tea leaf guys and say what I think is coming, but not reporting it as happening. Like Joe, you know it. You know. You accused me one time. I was like, you got to smirk. You know something's coming, right? And the next day, right? But I will never be in that realm because, like I said, good people wanting to be first. You can't take that back. I don't need to be first. I don't want to be first. I just want to cover it, you know? And so that I got immediate like pushback from as high up as someone I felt could have known. And so I ran with it. I ran with it and called him out. And because I felt it was piggybacking. You remember, Gerald, you remember when I still feel Woj did this on purpose. You remember that one time in the draft, I want to say it was the Randall year or the year after, when he put the wrong person's name in a tweet and everyone's like, can confirm. Woj is like, Woj needs you to confirm. Can confirm Woj is that this is so. And Woj is like, oh, my bad, typo, guys. It was this guy, not that guy. And everyone had to run it back. Like, do you remember when that happened? I'm telling you, Woj did it on purpose. All right. So, because he's a competitor. And if you didn't see that 7 p.m. in Brooklyn episode with him on the Carmelo show, check that out because he kind of breaks down the competitiveness to that. And Woj, when he starts cursing, it's hilarious. So people piggybacked, and I'm convinced that some guy had bad intel, threw it out there. And because everyone else was so paranoid to not have something on it, that they ran with the wrong story and got got killed for it, right? And so with the whole bro, that Blue Jays crew, oh my God, I felt bad for them. They were popping bottles, like they were planning dinner reservations, having a party on the show, like they were going crazy. And what I do feel bad, but to watch that castle fall apart and just it looked like their souls got taken from them when they realized that happened. And I genuinely felt bad for them when that happened. But I knew it. I'm like, guys, you could see me in their chat. Guys, this is not happening. Like, I'm telling them as it's happening. This is not happening. I'm telling you this right now, but I'm just EmpireJeff. Who does this guy think he is, right? It didn't happen, and then it almost like Shohei maybe was not planning to do it that Saturday. He probably was like, "Look, this is getting crazy. Let me do this," and just drop it on the Saturday. But that situation was nuts. And the Roki thing almost became it, Joe, with the whole Petco Park thing. Is that Darvish? Is it Roki? Is it? It was like it would almost. They tried to make it that, right? They tried to make it seem like it was that again, and I was like, nope, nope, like it's not happening.
There was no way Roki was going anywhere but LA.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't, and there was no reason for them to make it seem like it was. There was nothing. Like this isn't tampering. You can't tamper with another country. It was just dumbass. Bowden. Bowden. What was the name? Bowden. Yeah. Who, by the way, for those that don't know, is the guy who it's funny, he would know about international talent and ripping people off because he skimmed off the top from international clients. It's why he's no longer an executive in baseball. He's a chump. He's a punk. And he goes out there and he takes hot takes and he does it for clicks, and none of them land. None of them land. And I don't know how MLB Network keeps him around. He's trash.
Same reason why these networks kept Skip Bayless around.
Yeah, just trash. And it was like, well, Skip never pretends to have intel. He just talks shit.
He just talks stupid.
Yeah, talks stupid. But Bowden is acting like he's talking to exec. No one talks to him. No one talks to him. So it was when he did that, and saying that he was mad because he was saying it wasn't going to happen. He said teams were going to sit here and have an investigation into the Dodgers. MLB looked at that for about 12 minutes. And there was, you know what they looked at? They looked at the number to their bank and they said, how much are we making because he's coming to the Dodgers? And they hung up the phone. That's all it was. So it's not the Dodgers' fault that they got there early. Same thing with what Kim said, but it was the Dodgers because they were first. They believed in me first. They were involved in the process. They weren't late to the party when my name got big. Same thing, right? The Dodgers putting in work. And we like nothing more than to see the Lakers end up in that realm of putting that work. But it's the Dodgers are a different breed. They're a different animal. They're a different success story. And I honestly I feel I do a good job with NBA, but I feel I did my best work last year covering the Dodgers. I've never been that locked in as a content creator. And I felt like my best work was covering the Dodgers last year. It was just so incredible. Incredible.
The Dodgers, just for those of you who don't know, they opened the barriers. They opened it up in 1947 when they brought in Jackie Robinson. Then they broke into the Latin market and brought in one of the more popular players that has ever come into the league, and it's in terms of its popularity, in Fernando Valenzuela in 1981. So they opened up the color barrier, so to speak, in 1947. Then almost 40 years later, they bring in the Latin market. Mm-hmm. Now they're bringing in the Asian market or the Japanese market, the Asian market, basically, right? Mm-hmm. They brought in the Nomo in the 90s. It's just getting it's escalating even more now, right?
Chanho Park.
So you're gonna sit there and you're gonna criticize. You're gonna criticize the fact that Japan is turning into LA Dodger country, folks. I'm gonna throw some other things at you so that you understand what's going on. When you talk about Hollywood and say, well, a certain nationality or race is running that industry, i.e. Jewish people, folks, Jewish people created Hollywood in the late 1800s. That's why they run Hollywood. The Dodgers open up these markets. They did it. If you look back at even to the Steelers in the 70s, they were going to historically black colleges and finding John Stallworth and finding a lot of these guys that no one was looking at. Why? You all know why. Okay? You all know why. So either get on. If you're going to get stuck in your ways, shut the fuck up. If you're going to get stuck in your ways, and stop bitching and whining about how your competitor who's not stuck in their ways, who are being inventive and finding other ways to get talent. Here you go. This is how it works, guys. Think outside the box. Think so. Oh, and by the way, I want to make this very, very clear because it's very, very important since all these deferred assholes keep yapping about this, okay? You know who brought the $680 million deferred payment?
Mm-hmm.
Who did it bring? Who brought it, Jeff? Tell them.
That was Shohei walking into the Dodgers office and said, I got an idea. and the Dodgers were like, like they were like, what? Like they're like, wow, yeah, that was his idea, and it's why. Like I can do this for It's why he tied his contract to that if the team sold or Friedman was fired, that he could opt out of that deal and not necessarily leave the Dodgers, but re-sign for guaranteed money as opposed to deferred money. He tied himself in and put his money back because he believed in the organization. If other players that did that, I've done like a bunch of stuff on this too. If other star players did that, if Aaron Judge did that, if Juan Soto did that, if Bryce Harper did that, if any of those marquee players did that, they'd be in the situation right now. But the reason that baseball or this is happening isn't because the teams aren't offering defers. It's because the other superstar players won't leave money on the table. They don't think the long-term play. They want to get their money at maximum level and get it now. Or you can be like the Atlanta Braves, who bring all these players over from Latin countries, make them sign their deals earlier below market value, like an MVP, like Acuna Jr., like these other guys over there. They make them sign these deals early, never get anywhere towards the near end of arbitration, never let them get near free agency and get them undervalued. Look what San Diego did to Tatis Jr., right? They paid Manny, they paid these other guys, but their best player got signed for below market value because they hung that carrot before he could reach free agency or arbitration. Those are sandbagging organizations. Agents don't like that. The players' families don't like that. The players don't like that in the end because they regret. They're sitting back, I left like $200 million on the table. Like, because you guys kind of took advantage of me, right? And the Dodgers don't do that. No, you know what the Dodgers are doing? They're still paying Andrew Toles' medical insurance. Show me another team in any sport that's doing that. And for those who don't know who Andrew Toles is, look it up. Dodgers don't have to do that. They're doing it. How much money did they give to those wildfires, Joe?
$100 million.
$100 million. That's more than some teams' payrolls. So don't be mad at a team for investing, taking the money, taking their earnings, and putting it back into the product. They're a hedge fund. It's what they do. That's what they do.
But then again, it's unfair when you win, right? Oh, well, it's all about the money. So, again, I don't really pay too much to that. The old saying is losers think, watch the winners while the winners are thinking about winning, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't give two shits about your feelings on this, and we know why. You all know why. You didn't give a shit when the Dodgers were getting whacked for the 17 championship, even the 18 championship. You were dogging on them when they were getting bowed out in the NLCS too early or the first round too early. So you can suck. You can suck it. You can suck it good. I want you all to watch the Dodgers. I believe Dodgers are at least going to win at least 4 championships in the next 9 years. At least 4 more championships in the next 9 years. That's not counting what they've already done. I'm talking about the next 9 years, 4. They're equipped for it. They have the leadership for it. They have the talent for it. And they have the mentality for it. They're going to go, and they're going to be a dynasty. They're going to be a dynasty. And you're all going to have to sit and watch it because you created this monster, guys. You created this monster. Dodgers should have 4 World Series right now already. They should.
And it's either they say we either choked or when we win, it doesn't count. So what
you want to go that route? Just so you guys know, since the Guggenheims have owned the Dodgers since 2013, excluding the 60-game season in 2020, they've averaged 98 wins since 2013. 4 World Series appearances, 2 World Championships. Should be 4 World Series championships. And they're going to be getting another 4 here at the very least in the next 9 years. This could be the best baseball dynasty probably you'll ever see.
Yep.
That's what's at stake. And that was the button I wanted to put on this before we went out. I didn't think we were going to go 3 hours tonight, but I got my win back. Jesus Christ. I finally sobered up. When I got on this place, I was fucking just jacked, faded. But it went away, which is not out of the norm. I get jacked up, I wait a little bit, and it goes away. That's just kind of how I rock anyways. But I thought the crowd would like a little bit of the entertainment of me being a little faded to entertain. So again, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight for the Lakers Fast Break Nightcap. Jeff, you coming here tonight just added more to it. Of course, Gerald. I don't know if Gerald really. Do you ever sleep, Gerald? Are you like Sean?
No, not as bad as Sean, but yeah, I got an early start in the morning anyways, so I'll sleep when I die. Yeah, Red Guardian said he'll sleep when he dies in the latest trailer today. So,
well, you all got a little taste of Laker Dodger information. There's going to be a lot of that, and it's going to be coming hot and heavy, especially when the Dodgers are winning anywhere between 110 to 120 games this year, and then waxing that ass in the playoffs. I have full confidence that there won't be a choke job in this next run. I think the Dodgers have made it very clear that they're not going to go into next year's playoffs without a set of pitchers that can take them to the World Series again for the win.
Starters and bullpen, they're just super stacked.
Absolutely. And there's a lot that's going to be said after this. If the Dodgers indeed go through, they don't necessarily, in my book, have to win 117 games to validate the regular season. Just win enough regular season games to get that one seed, get the home field, and then when you get past that first NLDS round, I don't see anybody, because you're always kind of worried about a 5-game series. You just never know if somebody gets hot or whatever. But if you get past that first, if you want to take out the Dodgers, you're going to have to take them out in that series, just like San Diego almost did. If you don't, and the Dodgers have pitching on their side,
good riddance.
Yeah, good luck on that. I'm fully confident that the Dodgers are going to win back-to-back World Series. And if you think we're obnoxious now, wait till that happens.
Yep.
Can we say that the Lakers might win one this year too?
Hey, this sounds crazy.
Isn't that crazy that we're even thinking about that right now?
Yeah, it is.
anything is possible.
But anyways, Jeff,
That's it.
we got to do this on the regular. Gerald, obviously, you're always there to captain the ship.
Yes.
Thank you all for being here. God, you guys have been great. We've had at least almost 100 guys just kind of kicking it.
Before we go, before you drop us out, can you let EmpireJeff get a plug, man?
Oh yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, because there were some people in our chat that didn't know who he was, didn't know where his channel was. So
you want me to introduce you, Jeff?
It's up to you.
Okay.
It's up to you.
Well, so EmpireJeff is running. EmpireJeff, is it safe to say that you do Dodger and Laker content? Right? So Jeff does Dodger content and Laker content. You can always tell which one because you'll see purple in the background when it's the Lakers. You'll see blue in the background when it's the Dodgers. And when he's on, the numbers go up. Unfortunately, he can't be on like we are because he's a very busy man outside the shows. But we're going to try to drag him out as much as we can so he can start building those numbers. Because I think in the end here, Jeff, this is kind of where you belong. No disrespect to the job you do, but your future is going to be here, I think, in the end. So we're going to do our best to promote it. EmpireJeff, everything is EmpireJeff. It's not like it is here with Lakers Fast Break and then soon to be the Dodgers Fast Pitch on my show. That's going to be starting probably in a few months here. But if you all want to listen to Jeff, go ahead and go to EmpireJeff on YouTube and his X. Look for EmpireJeff. Go ahead and follow him on X. Go ahead and subscribe to his show on YouTube. You will never be disappointed in his content. He also does those shorts that are pretty funny. I'm usually commenting on them because they're funny. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate that compliment. And then we here at the Lakers Fast Break share the talent around this thing that we're doing here. The Lakers information and the Lakers show has taken on a whole different, I guess, stratosphere since last Saturday, and this is going to be a hell of a run between now and when the playoffs starts in the NBA. But then, of course, as soon as we're done with that, we're going to be talking some Dodger baseball as well on my end. Until then, if you want to contact me, if you want to contact the show, you can email us at LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. If you want to contact me directly, you can contact me on X at Joe Soro LFB. If you want to contact me on Instagram, that's my company page, which is SinBlades_turf. If you're old school on Facebook, you can reach me. I'm known as Johnny Blade on Facebook. You'll see
Oh, that's you?
That's me.
Ah, okay.
You know that's me? You didn't know that was me?
I didn't know that was. You know what? I'm bad. I'm so bad. I barely even promote my Facebook like that group. I forget I have it. Sometimes.
I'm always liking your shit.
Yeah. Because when I post on my IG, it just puts it there. Yeah. So like I'll get an alert, but I saw that name today. Literally, I was like, okay, but when I got a new phone, so like I got an alert, but I got to get back into my Facebook. I haven't yet. So it was I forget. I'd never promote that. Like I always forget to, and I should. It's just something I forget to do.
I got the Soro World Order on my profile, and I'm known as Johnny Blade. Johnny Blade is a name I created originally just as a pseudonym to privacy. And then when my business started taking off, I created the name Sin Blades for my company, and then Johnny Blade kind of played into that. So Johnny Blade is a character that's memorable when I'm on Facebook, when I'm talking to potential clients that are hitting me up. They remember Johnny Blade much quicker than they do my real name. So that's why that is. I generally don't try to do too. I have private stuff on there every now and then when my family or friends share things, but I generally like to stay private in my social media world. What are you playing on, Gerald? What is that?
Oh, Jeremy said he feels like I'm AI. He's never seen me drink water or eat food.
Oh.
Guys
Well, Gerald retired from drinking soda, right?
No, it's
Or
just Coke.
Just Coke.
Just yes, I'm not Laker Tom. Yes.
Okay.
I'll drink Sprite. I will drink Sprite.
Oh, okay, good. Maybe it was the caffeine or the colored.
Yeah, I got off caffeine years ago because that stuff is.
Yeah. Anyways,
looking like you're a cast of The Walking Dead, my friend.
No, that's funny. That's exactly what happens. Like anything with sugar or any kind of stimulant, right? But again, Facebook Johnny Blade with the Soro World Order. That's the only time I'm going to be able to use that name without getting in trouble, of course, as long as I don't promote it, at least outside, right? It's just private there. And so, again, guys, DM me if you want to talk. I have several of our patrons here that will randomly hit me up and say, what's up? Hey, when's the show going to be on? Anything like that, you guys can hit me up. I'm usually pretty quick at responding. So until then, EmpireJeff, thank you for being here tonight. Gerald, thanks for being the master. What is it? The masters of what do they call it when you're ahead of the MC? I don't know.
It's your show, man. I was only
right?
Yes. Well, I was only holding court for you while you were sobering up.
Yeah, I sobered up. It took me about 3 hours to sober up. I am sober up now. I'm gonna go get something to eat. I'm starving now because I didn't really eat since like 6. And then I'm going to crash out and we'll get ready for freaking Luka time tomorrow, baby. Luka's coming. Luka. I can't believe it. And I already sent you guys my Luka jerseys, right? You all got it? The molds?
Jeff, you sent it to me?
Get it?
I don't think you sent it to me.
Man, I sent it to you, didn't I?
A text?
Yeah. You didn't get the picture?
I didn't get the picture. When did you send it?
I sent it when I was talking to you earlier
today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I see. My fault. I see the black jersey. Yeah.
Now that's not what it's going to look like. That was just the first picture. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to go over there tomorrow to my pressing lady, the lady that presses all this stuff and makes my gear for work or whatever. I'm getting the black Mamba jersey with the Luka Doncic info, and it's going to look exactly like it's going to be an authentic jersey. Go ahead.
No, I'm just realizing I missed a whole section of your text here.
Yeah.
like that's
So,
okay.
Catch up on that. I know we had the crowd asking if it was okay if they could if they can go that route. Guys, I'm not your boss. You guys go ahead and get that jersey. The reason why I have to do this on my own is because NBA.com just has the gold and the purple. And I don't even know if they have the white Sunday whites there. So I gotta make my own jersey, and as long as I'm not selling it, I'm okay. But I'm gonna get authentic Black Mamba. You're gonna see the scales on the jersey. Black Mamba, double extra large. And then I'm gonna have, instead of that stupid Bibligo, whatever the hell that is on the right side, I'm gonna put the Sin Blades ad on there. So you're gonna have the Nike. I'm sorry, where the Nike is. I'm putting the Kobe logo there, and then I'm gonna have a much bigger 44 to represent Jerry West instead of that piece of shit pencil thin fucking whatever they have on there. I'm gonna have one a little bit bigger so that you all can see it. And then the only thing I'm kind of going back and forth on, just in case it changes, is that little tag that shows 17 and the Blair O'Brien trophy. So I'm gonna put that on there as well. But I'm gonna try to tell her, hey, be ready to put 18 on there here either this year or the following year. So,
you know what's crazy? So I started talking to you early this morning, right? So I woke up at like 7:30 this morning. I was tired as hell. Got home late last night. Tired as hell. I get up. I let the dog out. Take the dog for a walk. I see her messages. Me and you start talking shit back and forth. I post a couple of things on Twitter, and then I lay down on the couch and I knocked out for like an hour. Like hour 20, whatever. I get up and the next message I see from you is the Kike one, right? I don't even see this whole stretch you put in between. I didn't even see that until right now. I was confused when you said that. I was like, what? And I looked like, oh.
You're like, you never said that to me.
Well, because the last thing we spoke, and then I fell asleep, and when I got up, and the next message I saw for you, because I just was the Kike one. I didn't even go back. I didn't even see all this. So now it's there. Got it. All right. It's my bad. Yeah. So it was I saw that. I was like, what is Joe talking about? But there's like a good 7 or 8 texts I completely missed.
Sometimes that happens, man. You don't get the alert, and then it just keeps going, and then all of a sudden it's out.
Well, my phone started going ballistic with the Kike one. So what I did is I just cleared my notifications, right? Because I knew it already. I cleared it. I was getting added left and right, DMs, like you're going live. So I just cleared it, and I must have cleared your text notification when I did that. And then I got the Kike back when I saw that, but I didn't scroll back up. So my fault. I missed a whole bunch there. So my fault.
So Joe, Jeff, how many points does Luka score tomorrow?
Oh man, I don't know.
23.
I hope he doesn't go. I hope he learns from AD and comes back from the rest and doesn't try to force it. I'm almost hoping they put him on a minutes restriction tomorrow just to avoid that. But if I had to guess, Luka could score 20 and a quarter.
He's gonna be rusty though. He hasn't played since Christmas.
Yeah, but he's gonna get his shots up. I got that.
If it gets ugly early though, against Utah, they'll sit him down.
Yeah, I
think they're gonna roll Utah.
I'm gonna say, what did you say, Gerald? 22? You said 22?
23.
23? Because I'm gonna bet he's gonna play under 30 minutes, so I'm gonna go 22.
Joe?
So let me see. I'll say 25, 9, and 8.
Okay.
Playing 30 minutes. Yeah, I think 30 minutes is legit. Yeah. I don't know. I don't care right now. Points wise, I just want to see him play.
Yep. That's what I'm excited for.
I'm gonna get this jersey thing pretty much locked in for the order by tomorrow, and I'll wear it once it's done. So y'all, if you want something, let me know.
We'll do.
But we're going all the way with this, baby. I haven't bought a jersey in years. I'm talking 20 years, guys. It's been a minute. So, again, fantastic show. Thanks for enjoying the Top Gun look earlier in the show. I didn't even think about Top Gun. Yeah, but it was a fun show. I didn't think it was going to go this long, but the popularity of the show is growing, and I want to make sure that it continues. And for those of you, again, whoever wants to hit us up, hit us up. Tomorrow we'll be back for playback. Some of you obviously show up on playback, and then of course we'll have a post game. I guess until next time, see you next time.